All right, welcome to the Mic'd Up Podcast. I'm Michael, and this is my co-host Christian Johnson, and we actually have a special guest, DJ. I used to work with him for quite a bit, and we just bonded over sports and music, and still talking to this day.
Y'all doing? How y'all doing?
I actually want to start this off with. I actually lost a friend of mine in a DUI accident. My friend Leslie Hernandez, grew up with her, went through high school together. Um, just if you're drinking, please don't drive, man. That's a young soul that didn't be taken away. But that's all I want to say on that. I've had time to cool off. But let's talk about last week's games, actually.
In the happier news.
Yeah.
So,
Do you have any big games last week that y'all want to talk about first?
last week was just basically an ass whooping. Like, all the good teams whipped like all the bad teams' asses, and that was the entire week.
I think I personally think the biggest game to talk about is the Bengals taking out the Ravens. Man,
Super Bowl contenders.
In the fashion that they did it with, Jamar Chase. Is he having a better season than Justin Jefferson? That's good. I guess it's still debatable. It's midway through the season, but man, homie is taking off.
So far it is.
Dude's already over half his passing yards and under half the games. So
in only 38 receptions, his average yards per catch is like 20.1. It's like something crazy. Like
you know what this reminds me of?
What?
Odo and Jarvis. Justin Jefferson, the possession catch receiver, the more consistent, and then you got Jamar Chase, the Odell, big run after catch, big play receiver.
Also,
Both LSU boys.
I think that's like a discredit to Justin Jefferson's explosive ability, though.
Oh no, he's very explosive. But so is Jarvis.
He is.
But just like Justin, just like Jarvis, they don't have the blazing speed, I should say.
Yeah, like Jamar has that extra.
They're shifty.
Yeah.
Also, Jamar Chase has a much better quarterback than Justin Jefferson does, though. I'm not huge. I like Kirk Cousins.
Joe Burrow's better than Joe Burrow's better than not DeMarcus Cousins. Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I like Kirk Cousins as a person. He's like a stand-up dude. He's like the general quarterback, but like as a talent-wise, he's not nearly as talented as Joe Burrow.
Justin Jefferson to the Bengals sounds good to me.
Imagine the best LSU players just moved to the Bengals.
I honestly thought about something like after the rookie contract, maybe he's not satisfied with the organization.
The Bengals are good at receiver, bro.
Yeah, T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd. Yeah,
dude. Even
Uzama is breaking out. Uzama. He had two TDs over 30 yards. He's a big play tight end. It seems like
he had the game a couple weeks ago against the Jaguars. Yeah, and he went off.
It seems like every week you see him making a big play. Like Burrow definitely leans on him, especially in the red zone.
They also have Joe Mixon if they need a running. Joe Mixon is a top 5 running back.
Yeah, still top 5 in rushing in the league.
Tell me about it. That's my fantasy running back right there.
Yeah.
You racking me some points.
Speaking of fantasy running backs, Jesus Christ, Derrick Henry. He's 300 yards ahead of like
everybody.
Running back, quarterback.
You want to talk about fucking like
in a passing league. That's what's crazy.
Everybody's like, he's going to break so many records this season. And I'm like, yeah, the season, though, has 17 games more than any other time. But, for how much, the Titans aren't only a run team. They haven't been passing and stuff this year as well.
Right. Me and DJ talked about this actually earlier in the week. But how many more seasons does Derrick Henry need to do this before he's the greatest running back of all time?
He breaks some all-time records, like rushing and touchdowns and stuff.
I think if he go for 2,000 again –
okay, go ahead.
If you go for 2,000 yards again, bro, I think that he's the greatest of all time.
The thing about running backs, though, is it's not only about individual seasons. The top 3 running backs of all time weren't due to individual seasons. It was due to their consistency over multiple years.
That is true.
That is
true.
But that wasn't a lot run heavier league, too, though.
Yeah, but to say that they were getting that many more like carries and then still being able to play into their 30s as running backs. So
Yeah, but you're
needs to do
you're
that.
talking about they're getting 25, 30 carries a game. Granted, Derek's on that path too right now, but the Titans are also trying to pass the ball 30, 40 times a game.
I know, which means you would think he'd be able to last longer and then actually put up.
Hopefully he does last longer, but I think two
That's what I'm
2,000-yard seasons.
I'm saying he needs to actually last long. Like one of the big things when you're looking at greatest of all times is their longevity. I think MJ in basketball is the only player I know that wasn't like super long lasting. That's known as the GOAT. But you have Gretzky.
What are you talking about? MJ was pretty long lasting.
I mean, but he's not like
he played for quite a bit.
Yeah, played until the 40. Like he retired at what 41? I mean, granted, he took 2 years off for baseball.
He could have kept playing too. I mean, he just wasn't.
He was averaging 20 points still that year. He retired at 41.
Oh, way, at 40 years old, MJ is now a above average player. I mean, he might not be carrying the franchise, but
either way, y'all are both like just proving my point. Like any like greatest of all time has to play with some consistency over a long period of time. I think Tom Brady is the best example of that.
Yeah.
I know we're getting to MVP picks already, but like those are my 2 MVP picks right now. I can't decide between the 2 of them because I'm like Brady is 45 and outperforming every QB in the league. At like, while I know he has a great team around him, but still to be able to perform at that level at that age and stuff. And then you also have Derrick Henry. I think Derrick Henry will probably get the MVP, but I think Tom Brady is making a great candidacy for him getting one. It's between those 2 for me.
Derrick Henry would be my pick, but for the sake of picking someone else beside you, I'm gonna have to go with Kyler Murray.
That was who I'm going to. That's who I'm rocking. That's who I'm going.
I mean, as much as I've been doubting the Cardinals all season, in fact, most of me wants them to do really good. The other part of me is like, come on, you got to choke somewhere, man. You got to make me look like I was smart earlier on. And I kept saying, oh, they always choke. They always choke. I was like, oh, this week they're playing Green Bay. They're playing Green Bay. And now Green Bay got these COVID stuff going on. So I think Arizona might have, I'm not going to say a cakewalk, but I think it's not going to be as competitive as it could be if Devontae Adams was playing.
Well, I feel it personally. Every time Aaron has been to Arizona, it hasn't really gone too good for him the past few times he's gone.
Bro, that playoff game a few years back?
Yeah, and that was a good game, but I mean, he lost in double overtime to a bad play. Or he threw an interception, didn't he?
No, it was that Larry Fitzgerald little bubble screen or whatever that went for like 80 yards and got tackled on the 3-yard line.
What was the year when they went into like a overtime and he like threw an interception?
Yeah,
one of those.
It wasn't an interception. They went to overtime in that playoff game. That was like the 2016 or 2017 season.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And they hit the Hail Mary to tie the game, and then Arizona got the ball first.
Right. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
No. I like the Cardinals, and I like Kyler Murray a lot. And I even said I think the Cardinals are one of my top 4, or definitely top 3 teams to go to the Super Bowl favorites at the beginning of the year. But I think Tom Brady and Derrick Henry are still outplaying him because like anything you would say about like Tom Brady and why he's doing so good, you could say the exact same thing about Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray is playing, or you could say Tom Brady is only throwing this many yards and throwing this many touchdowns and throwing this good of a completion percentage because he has all this talent around him. But then people forget to mention that Kyler Murray has D-Hop, Green, Kirk, Andy Isabella, like all this other talent around him. And you're like, yeah,
they are very well rounded.
Christian Kirk, your 3rd or 4th best receiver.
Chase Edmonds and James Conner is running the ball really well.
Yeah. So that's why I put Brady ahead of Murray. Because
Kyler Murray's gone from trying to Lamar Jackson as trying to run the ball downfield to now Russell Wilson back in the 2012, where now he's looking downfield. He's trying to make the throw instead of thinking, oh, let's scramble. He's shifty. He's moving around, staying behind the line of scrimmage to try to make the throw and running when he has to instead of when he has the opportunity.
So let's do our top 3 in order, like half-season MVP favorites. So like 1 being your most likely candidacy or your favorite candidacy for MVP, 2 and 3. So I'd put 1 at Henry, I'd put 2 at Brady, and I'd put Murray at 3.
I'll probably go Murray at 1. Just they're the undefeated team right now. He's playing out of his mind. Like I was watching
His
this
stats are so
past
much.
week, and he's stats, but stats aren't doesn't make you valuable.
He
The
only has
plays
one
that he's
more win.
making when he's making the play, and how clutch he's been playing, valuable. It's
Also has good
the MVP.
receivers
The
and
MVP is
offense
not
clutch.
quite a stat trophy. That's more of offensive player of the year and defensive player of the year.
So
Yeah, it's
Aaron
like who's
Rodgers
really
last year.
who's really impacting the game, the wins and losses.
I mean, if
and-
MVP was a stat award, Derrick Henry should have won it last year.
Well, I mean, like,
That's why it's typically a quarterback award, because quarterbacks will influence the game and help win the game more than not.
if we're talking about the person that helps the team win the most, it should definitely be Derrick Henry, though.
Oh,
even over
Derrick Henry's my number 2.
like Derrick Henry, like is carrying the Titans and like everything else on that team.
But
yeah,
when it comes
they
down
do
to
heavily
it,
lean on him.
Like he's passing the ball for
Yeah, he throwing touchdowns too. He gonna have a passing, receiving, and a throwing touchdown. Like it's crazy.
Henry isn't even like just running the ball this year is the crazy part. Like his receiving yards is way, way high as well. Like even comparing it to other running backs. I didn't realize how high is like Michael, can you look up what Derrick Henry's reception yards for the season so far are?
I have his stats up right now.
I know he has 800 rushing yards on the season, 830 something.
He has 154
So
reception yards.
He has like 1,000 all-purpose yards, not even halfway through the season. Not even halfway through the season.
For my, I'm gonna have to give you a 3A and a 3B for my MVP pick. I'm gonna have to go Aaron Rodgers 3A and Josh Allen 3B. No disrespect to Tom Brady, but what Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen, they're not too far behind Brady. What Brady's doing, Brady's got a lot more talent around him. I mean, no disrespect to Brady. I love him now that he's out of New England, but he has 3 Pro Bowl receivers, 2 Pro Bowl running backs, probably 5 Pro Bowl offensive linemen.
I mean, Rodgers has arguably the best receiver in the NFL, though.
And then after that, who? Lazard.
He could tight end as well.
Randall Cobb and Aaron Jones has proven to be one of the top receiving backs in the league. So
Yeah.
he's heavily used in their passing game.
You can't say Green Bay doesn't have anybody.
I'm not saying they don't have anyone, but compared to the Pro Bowl roster,
Yeah,
Tampa Bay,
Antonio Brown,
you could literally take the
Mike
Tampa Bay
Evans,
offense and say,
Chris
okay, this is my
Godwin.
offense for the Pro Bowl.
Okay, but so the way I look at it is, yeah, Tampa Bay has a bunch of top 10 like people on their offense, but Green Bay has 2 like top 5 people like as a receiver and running back. They have a top 5. They have like 1 or 2 in the receiver.
Tampa Bay has 3 receivers in the
running back.
top 5 and in the top 15 for reception yards.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Not saying that
And then
Tampa Bay's receivers aren't bad.
You
I'm
got
just saying
Leonard
Devontae
Fournette.
Adams.
You got Leonard Fournette,
Ronald Jones
as your 2 running backs. I think that's the best running back duo in the NFL.
Whoa. Calm down,
duo.
Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. Calm down, Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. Calm down. We got to calm down on that. We got to calm down.
I think it's close, but I think the explosiveness for both of them.
Ronald Jones been in the doghouse since that fumble, early in the season. So he's only recently kind of come back onto the scene because Leonard Fournette been getting most of those totes.
Yeah, but Leonard Fournette deserving of carrying the football. I think he is. I think he's talking about the duo. I think he's a top 10 running back. But I mean,
I'm just pointing out Aaron Rodgers also has a number 1
Ronald Jones. I think ever since the playoffs, it's just been rough on him, bro. Like Leonard Fournette went off in the playoffs, and just they saw his carry shrink, undeservingly too.
DJ, who are your top 3 MVPs?
My top 3, I'm going with Kyler. I think Kyler, if they continue their success, I have to go with Kyler. Like just seeing what the Cardinals have been, what what they've been progressing to be. The last year they were building hype. The year before they were kind of like, all right, Kyler's first year, So now seeing what Cliff has gotten with that team, I think with Kyler at the helm, he's going to be number one. Two, you just cannot put Tom Brady. You cannot put Tom Brady. As much as I hate to say it, I'm not a big Tom Brady fan, but he's 45 playing like this. He has 21 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions, and he is also leading the league in passing yards, like with 2,300 right now. Like he's playing. He has all those weapons, but you still got to get the ball to him. Jameis Winston didn't have all of those weapons, but he had some of them, and they had just almost the same team, and Tom Brady gets plugged in, and boom, they go to the Super Bowl. So, I got Tom Brady too, and y'all are sleeping. I don't know how y'all are missing this man. The way he's been playing, and he has been providing. Who is right now the number one receiver in the NFL, Cooper Kupp, Matthew Stafford. Like, why? Like, I haven't heard nothing about Matthew Stafford.
His stats look nice, and I thought about it, but I don't know. Watching him play, I feel like he misses big throw, and I love.
Okay, he has been missing He has been missing throws.
But it's his first year in this offense. I think give it another year or two.
Okay, but even to that point, missing those throws, you're in the league for over a decade, bro, and you're an established. He's always thought to be an upper echelon quarterback. So
let me throw this BS excuse out for Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford's always had like 6'3", 6'4" receivers to throw to instead of these 5'10", 5'11".
After Megatron left, he had Marvin Jones and
Kenny Galladay.
He's 6'2", 6'3", but Kenny Galladay
and Marvin Jones is 6'4".
Marvin Jones is 6'1". He's like 6'1", 6'2". He's not a tall receiver.
And like I said, it was a BX excuse, dude. But it always seems like he's off by a couple inches.
I like Matthew
and
Stafford.
High all the time. It's not like he's low. And he's also had that finger injury also.
Matthew Stafford, it would be between Matthew Stafford and Joe Burrow.
I just feel like
why would Matthew Stafford be the comeback player of the year?
Because I think playing on the Lions is like an injury.
Hey, he got a point there, man.
Joe Burrow got this. Oh, I don't know. Dak Prescott gonna have a good run for it too.
Yeah. He's gonna have a good run for that one.
I think it's Joe Burrow.
To go more, I just feel like the Rams are a great team. They have a great defense, and if they continue to play well, and if Matt Stafford continues to, the way that they're winning, they don't have a dominant run game. They have a somewhat effective run game. It could be a lot better. I think Henderson being a first round pick, he should be. I think they should have they don't have the Todd Gurley type run game they had to make that play action really, really work like it could.
Yeah.
But and they've been relying a lot on Matt.
They went through most of the offseason thinking that Cam Akers is going to be their top guy.
Yeah,
he really exploded at the end of the season last year, which I really like. But
yeah, so not having him is has.
But the run game's been serviceable.
Yeah, it's been serviceable, but just not dominant for how McVay really wants that play action to work. Yeah, and and you see it, some of those throws that matter. It's like the bad throws, like they're play action and they're like really 2 receiver routes, and it's like, all right, let's just take the shot rather than let it be a dead play.
And I think that O-line's been struggling more than they thought.
Yeah, it has. It hasn't really been like so far.
That defense is everything it's been. That defense has been everything.
It started slow because Aaron Donald, there was like a few weeks where he kind of was just like, "Where you at?" Like he got taken out the Arizona game.
Aaron Donald's in that position that J.J. Watt was getting to after those great 4 or 5 seasons. He's beat up. Now he's definitely getting double, triple teamed. I don't think he's going to go through that injury prone like Watt did.
Yeah, he takes care of his body pretty well.
But you get beat up playing D-line, especially being that elite.
Especially when all ganging up on you as soon as they hit the snap.
Speaking of J.J. Watt, him and Chandler Jones are the best pass rushing duo in the NFL.
Ooh.
Yeah, I agree. The sad thing is, Tampa Bay's pass rushing defense is really good.
Yeah, but Chandler
Bob
Jones and
Minnesota is-
JJ are
As a
on a whole
unit,
nother
they
level,
are.
man.
But I get what Krupp is saying as a duo. But as a unit, Tampa Bay, I mean, you got
Well, yeah,
Sue,
you got
Pierre
Vita,
Paul.
you got Vita Vea, you got
Yeah,
Shaq Barrett coming off. You
Shaq
got a
Barrett.
4-man dude. Can we just, if Tampa Bay doesn't make the Super Bowl, just put their entire team on the playoff except their secondary, not the playoff,
So,
on the Pro Bowl team.
That's exactly what I've been trying to say. I was like, the sad thing is, as good as Arizona is this year, as good as the Rams are this year, and I know they might have a better record at the end of the year. I still see Tampa Bay just walking through them in the playoffs.
I think the Buccaneers lose this week.
I think the Buccaneers might lose this week, but I still see them in the Super Bowl. I'm like, I don't care how much Tom Brady loses. When it comes to playoff Tom and then playoff Fournette, playoff Louis and stuff, I'm like, there's no way they're losing through the playoffs again.
Dude, the NFC playoffs, it's gonna be crazy. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, it
You
is.
talk
It's
about
gonna
you
be
got
wild.
the Cowboys, you got the Bucks, you got the Green Bay Packers, you got the Arizona Cardinals, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Saints are probably gonna be a playoff team.
You got the Saints taking the Bucks
Bucks
over
at
the
home.
Bucks?
At home, they took them on the road earlier in the season. Now they got
feel
him at
like the
home.
Bucks are gonna.
And
I
the
feel like the
Saints
Bucks
always
are
play
gonna
the Bucks
make
very
Jameis
well.
beat them, and it's gonna be the Saints have been winning because
No, I take it back. They
Jameis's
didn't beat them
attempts
earlier
have
in
been
the
getting
season.
lower.
I was thinking
Jameis
about
is
Green
out,
Bay,
though.
but Jameis is out?
Yeah, he's been out.
No, Taysom's been out. Jameis has been playing.
I thought
Yeah,
Jameis got
Jameis is-
injured. I thought Jameis was out last week.
Jameis got the concussion,
I thought
but
Jameis
Jameis
got
has been
out.
playing.
I thought Jameis got injured last week.
No,
Did he get
Jameis
injured during
been
this,
playing.
against the Seahawks? I didn't see him get hurt. I don't remember
I
seeing him get hurt.
No.
Let's
but-
see. Jameis Winston news. No.
He's active.
And with the chance of seeming very stupid, Michael Thomas coming back to the Saints might be the biggest impact of the year.
I don't even think he wants to be there, does he?
He got to
Wasn't
play. He got to come back and show that
He
can
has
play
to play,
this
I
year, though.
guess. Yeah.
He got to come back this year. He had a bad year last year, injury-prone season last year, and then he pulled his BS getting surgery right before the season this year. He got to come back and show he can play. It's not like he balled out last year and then held out. He got to come back and show he can ball after these injuries.
Yeah.
I
He
think
got to raise his stock.
I think the Bengals this year are going to do what the Ravens usually do, where they look really good going into the postseason and then just lose their first game. I'm not saying
Do not compare my man Joe Burrow to the running back Lamar Jackson.
a lot of people would say Lamar Jackson for him.
But that would be fair for the Bengals because that's Joe Burrows and Jamal, especially Jamal. I mean, he's
if you're gonna make the comparison,
go round.
If you're gonna make the comparison,
go
just call them the Bengals. Just say they're gonna go back to playing like when Andy Dalton was first starting out.
Yeah,
hey, they're just gonna first on exit.
I was like, they're just gonna be.
They're gonna go Bengals. Do not compare him to Lamar Jackson.
They're going to pull a Bengals. They're going to bungle it up. So.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, yeah, they just go. That's just them being the Bengals.
Bengals going to Bengals, kind of like Browns going to Browns. Except the Browns went Browns last year.
Well, like I said, I mean, but like I said, it'd be Jamar Chase, it'd be Burrow's first go round. It'd be Zach, whatever
Zach Taylor.
Zach Taylor. It'd be their first go round.
Yeah, but we've seen,
it's something to build on.
I think it all depends on who they pull in the first, because outside the top 3 or 4 teams in the AFC, it seems like every team's inconsistent. Any team can lose any game.
Any team can lose. Really, the AFC don't seem like there's really a front run. With the Ravens losing that game, made me feel like there wasn't a front runner anymore.
The AFC has a bunch of really good teams.
They do.
They keep having the top teams,
but they can all beat games. They all beating up on each other though.
Where it seems like the NFC just has a bunch of unbeatable teams.
Yeah.
But you look what the Bengals did with Green Bay.
We're going to see this. We're going to see tomorrow.
I think the Chargers are going to end up being the AFC division winners.
I would like to see it because I would love to see my boy Herbert, take the Chargers up there.
I like Herbert a lot. He seems
I
like
But
I,
I
I
don't-
like
I
Herbert,
don't-
but I have to almost root for him to be average, so my boy Joe Burrow can look like he was the right choice.
To be honest,
I need him to look like the right choice.
Burrow
I
was
feel
already
like the
right
Bengals
choice.
defense is better
It's not-
than the Chargers defense.
Like,
I think
it's
the
not
difference.
Burrow's fault.
I think the team like level is very similar. I feel like the Bengals play with a lot more heart. I feel
Yeah,
like
the
talent,
Chargers show up flat sometimes, and I see that.
and going into the season, it was like, oh, this O line's gonna be real bad. And the Bengals offense is pretty bad. Offensive line's pretty bad, but they fight, man. That O line
They've improved though.
fighting, bro.
They've improved throughout the season.
Speaking of
Like
the
it
AFC,
wasn't like last year where you see these O linemen getting beat and just turn around and like as my coach used to say, giving the quarterback a lookout block where you just turn around and say, look out. These O linemen, they're fighting until all these sacks on Joe Burrow are like these one-handed grabs, just pulling them down as they're still getting blocked. I
Speaking
mean,
of NFC
the Bengals
leaders,
are fighting hard.
What do y'all think about what do y'all think is happening to the Chiefs?
I mean, you
The
got
defense is trash for one.
you got Patrick
that's like
Mahomes, and then you got the rest of the Chiefs.
and Patrick is trying to save that defense. I mean, he's literally playing press mode every game. He's pressing,
Well,
and he's
and-
saying it himself.
The Chiefs have no run game.
No, yeah, not enough to carry, not enough to
And-
just like.
Have you guys seen the movie The Replacements?
Ain't that with Keanu Reeves?
But yeah, and you
Mhm.
got that really fast receiver who can't catch shit. They
It's
just copy and
Terry
pasted him across the wide receiver core.
It's Terry Coco. I don't know.
I mean-
Kelsey's hands have been good this year. Any like throw
You look at every one of
Hill's still top 5 in receiving.
99% of Patrick Mahomes' interceptions are not even his fault, man.
Oh no, I looked at a video. It was
Um,
it was 60% of all of Patrick Mahomes' interceptions were his fault. The other 40% were legitimately they were like bouncing off like Tyreek Hill's hands into the
And they-
hands.
Yeah, there was something.
They need to run the ball better.
Scrambling and just throwing them into the crowd. Like
He's trying to do too much sometimes.
Well, and the Chiefs' offensive coordinator is not helping Patrick Mahomes out. I mean, there's
Listen,
no
close to
guessing. There's no
shorter pass.
guessing. There's no guessing on the defensive side when you're playing the Chiefs. You
Their
rush
offensive
three
line-
and then throw the rest in coverage because you know it's a pass.
And their offensive line is just so garbage at this point as well. Like they're getting there with
Well-
3 people.
how do you ask an offensive line to have to block 80% of your offensive plays because you have no run game?
Yeah.
Run the
but,
ball.
Where every team
Not
knows
even
you're going to
trying.
run, and you're asking your offensive line to block some of the best athletes constantly for 45 minutes in a 60-minute period.
All right, I'm gonna compare this to MMA real quick. A big part of being an effective striker in MMA is not even a good wrestling or ground game. It's the threat of wrestling. If that fighter thinks you're going to take him down, he's going to defend against it, and he's not going to be fully defensive on the striking. If he knows all you can do is throw a punch and a kick, it's a lot easier to defend that.
Yeah, it is telegraph.
So
at
if
that
all
point.
you can do is throw the ball, and you can get home with 3 rushers, if all they're doing is rushing 3, an HB draw should go for 5 yards easy.
That's the thing that's pissing me
And
off.
I love Clyde-Edwards-Helaire. I don't think he's the NFL running back, not elite. I think he's what James White or Deion Jones or whatever his name is from when the Patriots had these little running backs. Darren Sproles. He's not an every down back, but he's definitely like a third down back. I would love to see Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the Titans, bro. You running that third down with Henry. Give Henry the ball.
I
first
just
and
feel
second
like
down
if he
and-
just took care of the ball, maybe his confidence would be a little bit better. I don't feel like his
he had
size
one
has
fumble.
it- One. No, he had a fumble back-to-back weeks. What are you talking
Hey,
about?
The thing
He had
that
literally
pisses-
a fumble back-to-back weeks
The thing that pisses me off
He had the
is
one
fact
and that one big
against
down
the Ravens, and then he had to fumble literally the next week. Who they played? The Chargers. He literally
Yeah, but they were
fumbled
getting
the next
blown out,
week.
bro. They were getting blown out.
The thing that pisses me off is
He has one bad
after
timing fumble, and it's
the-
like, oh, Clyde
But I'm
Edwards-Helaire
just saying those
down the
back-to-back
shitter.
weeks. I think they affected his confidence going forward. I mean, that was back-to-back weeks, and that
Well, you
wasn't a
got-
blowout. They were in that game.
Then you got Darrell Williams. Run the ball with him. That's a
thing
bigger
that pisses
body
me off
back.
about the Chiefs game is the fact that after the Super Bowl last year, when they realized, hey, our offensive line sucks, they literally did nothing to solve that. Like they have a $500 million quarterback in their backfield, but they just seem to refuse to want to
Or
block at this point.
that, and they ignore their secondary. They thought,
yeah.
oh, we have Tyrann Mathieu in the secondary. Like, you
Yeah.
got 3 other dudes that you
Like,
need
bro,
out there,
do you
man.
not realize you have Mike Williams and Keenan Allen on one team? Like, you need 2 corners for those guys. Like,
Yeah, and like the thing is, like if the
I
offensive
think the
line was good
49ers
enough,
got a good receiving core.
if the offensive line was good enough, and they gave Patrick Mahomes enough time to find like a place in coverage that he could like pick apart, like because eventually one of his fastest fuck receivers or Travis Kelce would get open. Whether they catch him or not is a whole other story. But if the offensive line gave them enough time to actually pass the ball, then he would actually still be able to do pretty well, and they'd be doing a lot better than they're doing now.
I'll tell you what, I think Patrick Mahomes is starting to regret that 10-year contract.
I don't think so.
nah,
Nah. 500
man.
million.
Look,
Yeah, but it's one season, but
Brett Favre had
they need
his
a-
slumps in Green Bay. He had a few years where they wasn't making
it's
the
not even.
playoffs.
I'm not even
you
blaming
know.
Patrick Mahomes. I have no faith in the Chiefs to build around him.
I do. I think Andy Dalton's still a good enough coach that he's going to do something, but like they had literally nothing to build off of last year.
Just
And
like I
not-
feel like teams are figuring out how to just contain Lamar Jackson. All you got to do when you play the Chiefs is go out there and play cover 3.
I don't know.
Oh, take away the deep ball, and then you got him.
Before this last week, Lamar Jackson was kind of balling out with the pass because nobody was legitimately covering.
Man, you take
him
away
with
the
receivers.
fourth quarter of every game, and Lamar Jackson's still not throwing the ball very great. He's been clutch. I'll give you that, but
Oh no, he dropped a dime to Marquise Brown last week. He dropped a dime in the back of the end zone. Man, I don't know if you watching these games that thoroughly, man, because Lamar has been dropping dimes. They lost that game, he fumbled. He had a turnover on fumble, and like of course they're trying to get their run game established, and they went for it, on a few 4th downs, and they didn't get them. But I don't think it was due to Lamar's bad passing or anything like that.
I think Lamar Jackson dropping 1 or 2 dimes a game is blinding the fact that he's also having some pretty bad throws every game too. I'm not saying he's out there like Kyle Allen, whatever, some backup slum, but I don't think he's a elite quarterback. I've been arguing this since day one. I think he's an elite athlete, an elite player.
Yeah, but I can't stand when people talk about it in the sense that he's not going to become, like he has no tools to actually develop it. Like he's only 24. Like
He don't got elite arm strength. I mean, the accuracy can be.
Okay, go ahead. Just keep talking. Go ahead, keep talking. His arm strength, like, dude, have you not seen this dude flick a ball? Like, the dude literally just flicks it effortlessly and just throws a bomb. Like,
Michael is like saying he doesn't have Patrick Mahomes like depth, but he has. I
don't compare anyone to Patrick. I think there's only one person you compare to. Well, two people you compare to Patrick Mahomes' arm strength, and that's Aaron Rodgers and Josh Allen. Those are the only 2 you compare to Patrick Mahomes' arm strength.
But we still got to put Matt Stafford up there until we should see otherwise. He's always been known for his cannon.
Well, I mean, he's been overthrowing everybody, so
there's
got the arm strength.
There's a difference between having a cannon because otherwise, I put like, so you have S tier, which I put Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Then I have like A tier, which is Russell Wilson and Matthew Stafford.
Oh, I can't forget Russell Wilson. The thing with his deep ball, he has very good arm strength, but his finesse on his deep ball.
His touch is what makes his deep
he
ball.
He has the best touch on a deep ball in the NFL.
Yeah, he has a Drew Brees like touch. Like
that's what I think about Matthew Stafford, though. That's how I think about Matthew
And
Stafford.
you do not need great arm strength to be a good NFL quarterback. I mean, Drew Brees didn't have the best arm strength.
Yeah,
Drew Brees
no,
was-
yeah.
Even Joe Burrow, I know he's not a great quarterback. I mean, he has average arm strength. He's
Where the
not.
fuck do we put Tom Brady's arm strength? I don't even know. Like sometimes he just like throws a fucking.
I don't know.
ball.
It's never really been tested.
Watching last week, he tested like at least he tested like twice a game, but it's not like a constant thing. And he usually hits it when he tests it. But you see him like you see him throwing like deep to like 40, 50 yards to Mike Evans, and you're like, damn, that's actually kind of impressive for a 45-year-old. Then you go back and watch his highlight clips when he's throwing like that, like not double that, but he's like throwing 60 yards to Randy Moss, and you're like,
Hey,
no, You're like Tom Brady kind of has an underrated arm. I'm not saying it's a Patrick Mahomes arm or Aaron Rodgers.
And I don't think Tom Brady can go out there and throw 50-yard bombs all throughout the game. I think that's part of the reason. I think that's part of the reason he hits those.
If he can step
he's so
into
used
one,
to
I feel
picking
like
apart,
every
nick and
NFL
dunk.
quarterback should be able to get a 60-yard. I feel like every NFL quarterback can throw at least a 60-yard if they step into it.
I feel like Tom Brady though has an underrated arm strength. It's not like crazy, but
we're forgetting about one big young guy who has very good arm strength too. Justin Herbert.
Oh yeah.
My man's got arm. My man's got arm talent.
Derek Carr has underrated arm talent as well.
That's so bad. That man needs to go somewhere else, man.
I'm trying to figure out though, like where y'all getting from, like where Patrick Mahomes has this like rocket arm, like he's a crafty, like he's a master of his craft.
Have you not seen him during warm-ups?
There was a video
just throwing 80-yard warm-up passes.
There was a video I watched where it was like dissecting. There was a video I was watching where they were dissecting an incomplete pass from him, which yes, it was incomplete. But it was literally him falling back off of his back foot, like just tossing the ball up down the field to Tyreek Hill. And they calculated the arm distance. If that would have been complete, it would have broken the record for farthest thrown pass completion in NFL history.
You look at all these quarterbacks that are doing this, and most of them were very good baseball players too.
Yeah, a lot of them are
Russell Wilson,
like baseball players.
Patrick Mahomes. Kyler Murray has a really good deep ball, especially for how small he is. That man uses his entire body and will get that ball down there.
The thing is,
Josh Allen was a really good baseball player.
I see Kyler Murray throwing the deep ball, and I always notice that his receivers have to slow down or stop. He never leads his receivers with the deep ball.
I don't know. I don't think that's his arm strength. I think that's a lot of him just adjusting still.
Yeah,
These NFL receivers are running a lot faster than his college receivers.
Because Kirk and Hop are his two deep threats. Actually, Kirk I would say is more of a deep threat than even Hop is. Hop, Hail Mary, of course, but if you're talking about,
and you got to think, Kyler Murray is a very small dude. This dude's having to jump. He's Drew Breesing it. He's on his tippy toes, trying to find where he's at, and he's up, he's looking, he's jumping, and when he goes to settle down to throw the ball, he probably loses eyesight of his receivers quite a bit. He's probably just trying to blindly throw a deep ball. He does it very well at a very elite level. He's my MVP pick.
Speaking about quarterbacks,
you gotta think they're creating throwing lanes for him. So he's not just having to see over people all the time.
Speaking of quarterbacks throwing touchdowns, though, let's move on a little bit. What do y'all think about that guy getting the 600th touchdown ball from Mike Evans?
Hey, that man's walking away with Bitcoin. I mean,
he's getting a Bitcoin, 2 season tickets, 2 signed jerseys,
a helmet.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then $2,000 to their team shop.
That's crazy.
Bitcoin is $60,000 right now. I'm like,
it's $72,000 right now.
72, Jesus Christ. So apparently you could have gotten $500,000 for the ball, but
and Tom Brady's not even keeping it; they're auctioning it.
Wow.
Tom Brady was super chill about it though as well. He wasn't going to get a Bitcoin until Brady was talked to one of the sponsors.
You realize they're giving away Mike Evans' jersey. They're like, all right, you fucked up and gave the ball away. You giving your jersey.
I think he got a Brady jersey as well.
I think Brady signed it.
Yeah.
But
That's still really freaky.
hey, I would have gave the ball up just for the season tickets. Everything else is a
Right.
bonus.
Yeah.
Because he gets season tickets the rest of this year, and then all of next
And
year.
next year.
Dude, though, $500,000 for a fucking football.
I mean,
He could probably still auction off the 2 jerseys he's getting.
Yeah, that's true.
If he
You could
wanted
just say,
to.
hey, this is the jersey that I got.
And
for
sell
back to system.
the season tickets if he wanted to. Probably make
those
pretty nice
season
little
tickets,
change too.
those games you can't make, you sell it because those season tickets they're like individual. You can sell an individual game.
Dude,
So like if he can't make a game, he can sell the tickets to that game.
It doesn't
Oh,
count
really?
for bowl games, though, does it?
You don't have to sell the entire season ticket pass.
It doesn't count. I'm guessing it wouldn't count for bowl games. Like he's not going to get a Super Bowl game pass.
No.
or anything.
Season tickets go through the playoffs.
So if if the Bucks make the Super Bowl,
If the Bucks get the first seed and they got home field advantage through the playoffs, he can be at every game.
I know, but like, imagine selling Super Bowl tickets. Like Jesus Christ.
Super Bowl was in Tampa last year. I don't think they're going to get another one in Tampa very soon.
Oh, okay. So
Because-
season tickets, got it. Yeah.
So I think the next two, and I think the next two Super Bowls are actually LA and
LA.
Vegas.
Yeah.
I think those are the next two, the two new stadiums.
Yeah, them gonna be big.
Bro, Vegas is Super Bowl. That's going to be something, bro.
It's gonna be
A lot of people are going to be arrested.
Yeah, I was just about to say it's gonna be a lot of people. It's gonna be players that don't even make it to the game.
The Olympics are happening in LA this year at the
They're
same
going to be
time
gambling
as
their
the
Super Bowl tickets.
So we would have some like super babies being made because y'all have heard about like all the Olympic athletes like going at it. Now you have the Super Bowl people doing it with the Olympic athletes. So
Okay,
Wow.
think about this. Chargers versus Rams in an LA Super Bowl. In LA.
dude, there would be so much fucking. That would
It's
be
going to be
the
home
most
field
fun.
advantage for the Rams because ain't nobody a fan of the Chargers, apparently. You'd be
That
watching
would
their
be-
look at their home games, dude. They're not even selling a lot.
Which is sad because they're a good team. Like they're a good
The,
team.
the Chargers have a very widespread
They-
across America fan base.
Yeah, they do. They do.
They're
They
not
actually
very-
do.
They're not very hometown
I
big.
feel like that would be a super.
It's like the
toxic
Clippers.
football game.
But you would think at least San Diego fans would come and travel down, and
Yeah. Well, they weren't selling a lot of tickets in San Diego either.
How come the city of LA can have the same football team as the state of Texas? That should be a song.
Well, Texas might be getting a third NFL team soon.
I hope so.
what?
You haven't heard about that? There's been talks about the Buffalo Bills moving to Austin.
I don't think it's gonna happen.
No way. No way.
Most of it seems like it's leverage to get the Bills a new stadium, but they said if Buffalo won't build them a new stadium, Austin's already confirmed that they'll build a new stadium. They'll play in the Alamo Dome for a couple years
I
until they get
mean,
the new stadium built.
Buffalo is not that big of a city. Like you got to think they don't have that much space. They probably just have to tear their actual just to create the space.
They have the third oldest stadium though, and and at least the other two old ones have been up. Like I think the
Right.
two older ones are Lambeau Field and Soldier Field, the Bears and the Packers.
So
they've
is
been
it-
renovated
they
and
won't
updated.
renovate? They won't
renovate.
there? Oh wow.
And Buffalo got some of the most dedicated fans, bro.
They do. Them
Them and when the Raiders were in Oakland, bro. Those were the top two.
Okay. Well, moving on a little bit. How much of the Arizona Cardinals' success would y'all put up to their new coach, Cliff Kingsbury?
That man's was on the hot seat, I think, coming into the season.
I mean, this is only his second season.
I know.
I
but
think him and Kyler came together. So yeah, I think it's his
I think he was still on the hot seat.
And he did bring up the record quite a bit. It's not like the Arizona Cardinals have been absolute dog shit.
No,
Or
the
no,
Arizona
Cliff was
Cardinals
there
had,
before Kyler got there. I think he had Josh Rosen, right?
Yeah, he had
Yeah.
Rosen for a year, but Arizona hasn't been a bad team. They had 2 or 3 bad seasons, but then a few years before Kyler got there, I mean, you had Carson Palmer, and they were going playoff runs with him too.
Right.
I mean, Cardinals are one of those teams that once they struggle a little bit, they hit the reset button real quick and bring in a new coach. They always have talent. It's like Green Bay. Mike McCarthy, I don't think is a bad coach, but they had a bad couple years, bad on their terms. They're above 500 team, and they had a rough couple years, and Mike McCarthy's out.
We're getting off topic though. Like, what do y'all think about Cliff Kingsbury?
But I mean, to answer your question, I mean, yeah, he had a lot to do with it. This is his 4th year. when he first came in, he had inherited a team that he didn't draft. So now he's gotten a few years to draft a team, put his
think a lot of
personnel together, go get the guys that he wanted in free agency. Now he has. I mean, when you look at their roster,
I think a lot of the credit has to go to the GM, bro. I think a lot of it has to go to the credit.
Yeah, that's like the GM. I mean, like the roster that they have now is like, all right, now. I mean, I can do something. I mean, like you can do all the X's and O's all you want to, but if you don't have the players to execute, then you have shit.
I mean, look at what this GM's done.
The GM drafted the Houston Texans, basically.
he drafted Kyler,
and then he got
Watt. He got AJ Green. I mean, this dude's he drafted Buda Baker, very underrated safety.
Yeah, well, he's getting his respects.
You got Kirk. So
yeah,
Christian Kirk has surprisingly been there for a hot minute.
They brought James Conner over from Pittsburgh this year, so that helped out. They added some power along with Chase Edmonds, so that's good.
I wonder how good they would have been if they would have. I mean, they're a great team, but I think their best move would have been to re-sign Kenyon Drake.
You think?
I think he's better than both of Chase Edmonds and James Conner.
Speaking about coaching, LSU and USC now have coach openings.
LSU is the hottest coaching job in football. NFL, college, hottest coaching job opening.
Yeah, USC is not a hot commodity anymore. Like I just think the years of turmoil from the whole academic stuff they went through a few years ago, and just nobody wants to.
USC is also going to give a shit ton of money to whoever they want coaching.
So is LSU.
I'm not taking away.
LSU just gave Coach Ogeron $18 million to say, "Hey, don't come back after the season."
I'm not comparing the two. I'm just saying, like USC is still going to get a really quality coach just because USC holds the football team.
No one was hopping on the USC coaching job because everyone knew the LSU job was opening.
Yeah, that's not guaranteed they're going to get a good coach because if that was the case, they would have had one because they've been offering, but they gave Clay Helton They had just gave him a contract.
I think that USC will still get a pretty decent coach. They have a good history with that.
So far, everything I've been reading, it points to three coaches. Joe Brady, who's the offensive coordinator for Carolina, who was the offensive coordinator for LSU when they made the championship run. There's a lot of signs talking about Dabo Swinney coming from Clemson. I don't know if I'd believe that.
You think after one bad year, Clemson's gonna leave? I don't think so, man. Because Clemson's still a national powerhouse.
Number three, the one I want to see them get the most is the head coach from Cincinnati.
Luke Fickell. I knew you were gonna say that, but I hope he stays in Cincinnati and continues to build what he got going on there. Me personally, I like Luke Fickell.
So, what did y'all think about the whole Tennessee fiasco that happened 2 weeks ago?
I'm going to say one more thing about the LSU coaching job.
Yeah.
If LSU hires Urban Meyer, I will physically rip the tattoo off my chest.
Exactly. They need to hire Bill O'Brien. Like Bill O'Brien for head coach at LSU. The best coach to ever exist.
I'm not going to go into detail. I'm not going to go into
I know that was
very graphic details.
Put Bill O'Brien.
But I would do unthinkable things to get Nick Saban.
Dude, Nick Saban.
No, he is.
He is.
I know he ain't leaving. LSU. He ain't leaving. But that's why I said I would do unthinkable things.
To be.
Apparently,
let's just say in order to get Nick Saban to LSU, let's just say I would do things with Nick Saban that I would do to Kendall Jenner.
Okay.
I'm desperate for Nick Saban, man. I need him back.
That ain't happening, buddy.
Texas was willing to offer Saban $100 million.
I know they're talking about Jimbo Fisher too. They've been offering Jimbo Fisher to leave A&M. Which Jimbo Fisher was the leading candidate and in fact said he was going to take the LSU job before they give it to Orgeron.
I don't think he would leave after this season, though, especially with how good we've started to become.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's gonna get better recruiting classes. Like I feel like he's gonna build
LSU going
something
to get
good
better
in
recruiting
A&M.
classes than A&M.
Plus,
But I think Jimbo's gonna be able to do well in A&M. I don't think there's no reason for him to leave.
yeah,
For
and also
LSU case, I think
A&M
Jimbo
has
would be
that,
good, but for Jimbo's case, he should stay at A&M.
also A&M has that A&M money that they're paying Jimbo right now.
LSU would pay more.
No,
Ain't it like 30
I'm
something or like
pretty
30
sure.
something million?
I'm pretty sure Jimbo has like the first, or no, he has the second highest contract in college football.
LSU has paid their coaching staff the most in college football for the past 10 years.
I'm pretty sure Jimbo is being paid like the second most right now out of all like head coaches in college football. I'm pretty sure
Les Miles
first.
got $100 million contract, which most of it he didn't get paid because he got fired. Orgeron had like a $60 million contract. And if he would have continued his success, probably would have got paid a lot more. I mean, LSU pays their coaches. But and you started bringing up the whole Tennessee thing.
Oh yeah,
Tennessee's my second favorite college. My dad's from Tennessee, so my mom's from Louisiana, so that's LSU and Tennessee are my two teams. Mostly LSU, but as long as they're not playing LSU, I'll pull for Tennessee.
So I looked it up. Jimbo Fisher was the seventh highest paid coach in all of college football. With yeah, that's basically it.
I mean, A&M will pay their coaches. Don't get me wrong.
Especially after this season, he's probably going to get a higher contract after like this season or contract extension.
So that whole Tennessee situation with the whole throwing stuff on the field, it was, from what I hear, because I've been reading a lot and listening a lot to people who were at the game. Apparently, you could feel it was boiling up to something. Apparently you could tell that it came down to that call, whether that fan base is just gonna boil over and throw stuff.
I want football to take over the mantle as most toxic fan base, take it from soccer. So I was kind of happy about it. I was like, if there's nobody dying, we're all good. Because soccer sometimes takes it to the point where people are dying. That's how passionate they are.
I don't think it was okay. I don't think it was okay.
Do I think it was okay?
Was it entertaining to watch?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Was it okay? Like morally? No. But like do I kind of like it? Yeah. It's kind of like there's some things in this world that are immoral that you kind of like happen.
Like it'd be one thing if it was like the bottom bowl throwing it on the field. But there's stuff flying from the upper deck and hitting people on the bottom.
If you killed Hitler while he was a baby, would it be moral? No. But would it make you a little bit happy that you saved a few million lives? Yeah, like that's kind of how I see it.
You're comparing throwing stuff onto a football field to killing baby Hitler.
Exactly. But it's like immorality, but entertainment. And kind of.
So killing baby Hitler would be entertaining?
Okay. Yes.
What? I don't know if I can post this.
You might want to edit this out, bro.
We got way off track, bro.
YouTube's gonna eat that alive.
Well, it's not like we're getting paid for this shit.
All right. While we're on college football, let's talk about who's DBU. We all know who I'm gonna pick. I'm gonna pick LSU. They have the most successful defensive backs in the NFL. I don't even think it's close. You got a top 5 corner, a top 5 safety, a Hall of Fame corner. Tyrann Mathieu's probably a Hall of Fame safety too. I mean, you got a top 3 corner, honestly, right now.
I mean, DBU of what, the past decade, for like how long?
It don't matter.
Span of NFL. Because do we have enough information to like back all? Because there's like
since DBU claims have been started.
We have. I mean, we
So
got
since like
Miami. If
2011.
we gonna go, we got Miami.
would say-
Ed Reed.
I would say right now Alabama has the most impressive cornerback talent in the NFL. They have the best cornerback, at least right now, that's
Who?
playing.
Who? I
what's
I
his
guarantee you I
name?
can name an LSU corner better, and then a Florida State corner that's better.
Trayvon Diggs.
I know.
Trayvon Diggs leading the
You putting Diggs
leading the league in interceptions.
over Jalen Ramsey.
Yes, he's leading. He has more interceptions than Jalen Ramsey so far this season.
Okay, but interceptions aren't everything, though.
Oh,
As a
great! He's a really
quarterback-
good athlete. He's
as
a
a
really good
quarter-
athlete that's had more than
As
a
a
couple lucky
quarterback.
bounces into his hands.
As a corner, though, he has the most turnovers and the most
Oh, he's really good at getting burnt, so the quarterback's willing to throw the ball that way. He has good catch-up speed.
and he has the return.
You know why
yards.
Jalen Ramsey doesn't get as many interceptions? Because no one throws the damn ball in
Nobody
his
throws
direction,
the ball
bro.
over there.
So
You know
Yeah,
why
the way
Tre'Davious
the
White don't get
Rams
as many interceptions? Because no one throws the ball at Tre'Davious White.
The way the
Diggs
Rams
is
have
getting
used
dusted.
Ramsey this year has also shown how much of a dynamic player Ramsey is. He doesn't just line up on the best receiver anymore. Sometimes they just line up in the slot so he can blitz, or they'll spy on an athlete quarterback like Kyler
Ramsey-
Murray. Like they use him in multiple ways now.
I'd still say Trayvon Diggs
Ramsey
at
is
least in his
the
turnover
best
potential.
lockdown corner. He is definitely the most physical corner.
I'd say
He is the
Trayvon
most-
Diggs has forced the most, at least this year, has forced the most turnovers, and that's why I look for the most in a cornerback.
Oh, yeah, I just want my corner because not every time he going to catch up. He gets dusted quite a bit
He also has the most returns for touchdowns. So
because he has the most interceptions. Of course, he's going to
that's
return the
what I'm
most for touchdowns.
saying.
Oh, he returned more picks for touchdowns than Jalen Ramsey. I don't think Jalen Ramsey got one. I'm sure they targeted Jalen Ramsey 3 times all season.
At one point, he might still have more interceptions than he has games he's played in this season. So
They're throwing it to him because he's getting dusted. Oh, he's intercepted 7 balls. 2 of them were
Yes,
tipped
they
and he
wouldn't-
caught.
they
And then the
wouldn't throw it.
other 5, he's intercepted 5 out of the 30 dozen that he's been
They
dusted
wouldn't
on.
throw it to him if he was picking, or they would like. They just aren't expecting.
He has
him to
more
be as
yards
good
per
as he is
catch
this
on
year.
him than any other corner in the NFL right now.
It
This
still
means
doesn't-
receivers are catching the ball and getting more yards on him than any other defensive corner in the NFL.
It's still because he's their number one corner. So and he's been playing good teams for doing that as well. So it's not like he's covering like shit like.
Oh,
shit
so
opponents.
the pretty
Playing good
shitty
teams.
defensive.
Look at the division that they're playing. Who is what receivers is he having to guard?
Mike
He should-
Evans, Antonio Brown.
They're not in the division. They're not in that division.
He also
They're not
got
in the
dusted.
NFC East.
He also got dusted by them
They played in the first game.
and got dusted. They lost.
The Tampa
And,
Bay
and Tom Brady threw for like 500 yards on him.
they threw for a lot.
The only
of yards,
the only interception he had on Tom Brady is when Leonard
He got
Fournette decided
tipped.
he would play volleyball, bro.
he got tipped. Literally got tipped.
He picked off Tom Brady though in that game as well.
No, he picked off Leonard Fournette.
He still got the
He didn't pick
interception.
off Tom Brady. The stat says it.
They also have Surtain, who's playing really well. Or
Patrick
playing pretty
Surtain's
well
on
this
Denver.
Yeah, he's played pretty well this season.
Not locked down. He's getting pretty dusted by Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Yeah, Fitzpatrick and Drake Kirkpatrick.
Fitzpatrick's a pretty damn good safety. I'll give you that.
Yeah, Minka's pretty good. But outside of, I feel like,
But he's the only solid
top
player out. He's the only solid player that's
You-
not on
you-
the Steelers D line.
three.
So
You
he has
named
to make
Drake
the tackles in the second.
Kirkpatrick. Drake Kirkpatrick has never panned out to be the first round draft pick that he was supposed to be when he got drafted. And then we can go on a D Milliner who got fat and just dropped out the league.
There's only 2 Alabama secondary players that I will give the respect for that's in the NFL right now. Granted, I respect all of them. They're in the NFL. But as far as elite, you got Minka Fitzpatrick and you got Marlon Humphrey. And that's the only 2 that I'm going to call
Marlon
elite in
Humphrey
the
is
NFL.
definitely, Marlon Humphrey.
And then Jamar Chase went for 201 yards on him. So
Yeah,
So you
made
don't
him look
respect Surtain?
bad.
Sertan is doing pretty
He's
good.
a
Marlon
rookie. He's only a rookie. We can't.
But he's
He's only
doing
a
good
rookie.
as a rookie. He's doing good as a
And
rookie.
Denver's
tell
had, and look at who Denver's played. Oh no, he shut down the Jets and the Giants.
So I mean, he's doing pretty good as a rookie.
Not only did he
No,
shut
he's
down the
doing
Giants,
good.
he shut down the Giants when Danny Dimes was injured. He shut
He's
down the
doing good.
Giants when Sterling Shepard was hurt. He shut down the Giants' third receiver. I mean, he's a good corner. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been tested.
I will say I can definitely name more LSU DBs in the league that are starting right now than there are Alabama DBs. I mean, you got Greedy Williams, you got
Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu, Tre'Davious White, Dante Jackson. And I'm sure I'm missing a few.
Is it Jamal? Is it Jamal?
Jamal Adams?
Jamal Adams? Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can really
Blitz Boy is a better cover safety than most of the Alabama safeties, and Jamal Adams can't cover for shit.
Is Landon Collins still with the rest with the football team?
Yes.
Is he's still there? Okay, Landon Collins. I mean, that's another Alabama guy.
Kareem Jackson's kind of past his prime, but he was a very solid.
He had a good season last year, though. He had a really good season last year.
When they moved him from corner to a nickel safety type, and that's done really well for him.
Yeah, it did.
I'm not saying these Alabama secondary players are shit,
but I don't feel like they're like there's not always too many elite ones. There's only like three.
They always come to the NFL like, oh, this is the next elite Alabama secondary player.
And they never pan out. There's only
this is the next elite Alabama running back. This is the next elite Alabama quarterback. Alabama produces D linemen and receivers. The other ones all come in the NFL and bust.
But you say people like Tyrann Mathieu and stuff. And this season, I don't see Tyrann Mathieu as like the best safety or anything.
Oh yeah, Tyrann Mathieu. He's now 32 years old, and
he's having to cover for all the other sorry ass dudes on that defense. He's the only guy that's worth the crap.
The whole defense is just shit, and you'd think Tyrann Mathieu would be able to bring it.
Tyrann Mathieu has yet to play on one elite defense.
Yeah, he has. He's had to be the elite guy on a defense.
The most elite defense Tyrann Mathieu has been on was when he was on the Cardinals, suffering with tearing his ACL twice.
The Chiefs defense 2 years ago, they won the Super Bowl.
It was
not
enough
elite.
to win. It was
serviceable,
to win, but it definitely was not elite.
But that Chiefs offense. All that defense had to do was keep the other team from scoring 30 points.
Yeah.
Because that offense was going to drop 30.
Because you weren't going to outpace that offense. So as long as you got enough keys, you just needed those key stops, and they got those. Chris Jones was able. When you had those kind of guys like Chris, they're able to get those key stops.
You look at those Chiefs defenses, it was the front seven that was doing good.
Yeah, their back end has never really been that great.
Can you name a Chiefs cornerback, Christian? I can't.
No, I can't name most.
Actually, I can. I can name one, L'Jarius Sneed. But I mean,
I can't name most teams' cornerbacks. Though, in all fairness, I don't really pay attention to cornerbacks so much.
Ohio State has a better claim to DBU than Alabama.
I can't name a Ravens.
Yeah, with the amount
name
that
a Ravens cornerback
right now, like you said, Eli Apple.
I think the Ravens have probably a top 3 cornerback duo.
I can't name a single Ravens.
When
Marlon Humphrey
and
Marcus Peters, those two would be the best.
Peters, yeah.
Marcus
I don't
Peters.
think he's back yet, though.
But when healthy, those two are probably the best corner duo. I don't think there's another corner duo.
I'm trying to think. I don't feel like there's no really that really stand out to me right. Well, I feel like
Cleveland Browns.
I was just about to say with Greedy Williams and what's the other one's name?
The Ohio State guy, yeah.
What's his name? Damn, I can't remember his name. But yeah, but whenever they get healthy, Denzel Ward. Yeah, that's another Ohio State guy.
And then you got another LSU player in that safety, and Grant Delpit.
Yeah.
Who, if he didn't hurt his back last year, probably would have had a solid chance for a defensive rookie of the year. Great. He won the best player in the secondary in college twice. The Jim Thorpe Award. He won it twice. I mean, that dude was destined to be really good and got hurt.
Yeah, I would have to give. I mean, I know I'm supposed to be. I mean, there are a lot of Ohio State guys, but I'd have to give it to the LSU. Just seems like they're just everywhere, man. It's like you step on an ant pile. You see all the ants that's coming out. Just LSU.
I think they have a. What?
Phone call coming in. I need to go.
All right, you coming back?
Yeah, you should be. If
All
they'll
right.
wrap up, goodbye. So.
All right. If you come back, then you come back.
All right.
I think LSU might have the best wide receivers in the NFL too.
I mean, there's quite a bit. There's I guess when we're talking about the major, like just being able to put many out, then yeah, I mean you got Jefferson, you got Chase,
Odell Jarvis,
Jarvis,
DJ Chark, Russell Gage.
Chark's from LSU too.
Yep.
Oh wow, Russell good. Oh man, I didn't even know DJ Chark was from LSU too. Wow. Yeah, man. I mean, he's the number one receiver too. Yeah, I mean, you got some guys out there. I mean, I don't even know
Alabama
what
put some
other.
good receivers, but
Oh, I mean, yeah, Julio, Calvin. Let's see. Oh, my boy Devontae,
if
Waddle, Jalen.
Waddle, and then you got what's his name in Denver, who's
You know,
solid.
Mississippi State's one of those teams. Also, like when it comes to wide receiver, they always like in college have
Not
like
Mississippi State, Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. I mean, that's what I meant. Like Laquan Treadwells and like they
DK
always
Metcalf and
DK
AJ Brown.
Metcalf, AJ
Those two
Brown.
alone.
Like
I
yeah,
think
like
AJ Brown in the
you
next
gotta
2 to 3 years will be the best wide receiver in the NFL.
I can't disagree with that.
You got Julio Jones and
that.
Julio Jones 2.0 on the same team.
Yeah, like I can't disagree with that. Like
I think DK Metcalf is a little overrated. I think he's a really good receiver, but I think his physique kind of overrates him a little bit.
Do you see? I think he's a very underrated route runner.
I think DK Metcalf would be a very good receiving tight end.
Why you what? Like he's a receiver. Like he runs like a receiver.
I know he just
like bro, he goes against Jalen Ramsey twice a year, bro. Like if you watch those battles, like I mean, there's battles like he clearly wins against him. Like I mean, he breaks him off, and then there's of course the time that Jalen gets the better of him on a route or whatever. But
okay, like, but yeah, Jalen gets the better of everybody too. So
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like DK definitely is deserving of where he's at, and I think he's only going to get better, especially with the physique he has. Like, bro, imagine when he really does get the technical part of his game down. Oh my god! Like,
I think having Tyler Lockett on the other side also helps him too.
It does.
Tyler Lockett's a very underrated receiver too.
He's the zone breaker. Tyler Lockett is a zone breaker and allows the DK to do what he does.
All right, you want to do something real quick? You want to do that NFL tier list real quick?
Okay, yeah, let's go ahead. So I'm gonna do my tier list into.
Well, I have a tier list right here that I can just switch over.
Okay, cool.
If I can just figure out how to screen share again. Man, how do I screen share? Nope, that ain't it. Oh, the big green button that says share screen.
Okay, I see. I got you. You look at Malik Hooker. You looking at Malik Hooker for?
I was looking what team he was on when we were talking about it earlier. All right, there we go. We'll just start from the beginning of how they have it set up, and we'll go. So, Seattle. Let's just say Seattle with a healthy Russell Wilson, too. I don't know when he's going to be back, but
middle of the pack. Right now.
Okay, so how I usually do this is the closer to the left they are is how closer they are to moving up to the next tier.
I got.
So I think there's a left side of middle of the pack to the right side of playoff team. I don't think they're well rounded enough anymore to be a.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, I feel like once they,
Chris
I
Carson's
like,
a decent running
I was
back.
just about to say, like, I like
It
Chris
doesn't stay healthy
Carson.
enough, and he's not
They
consistent
got
enough.
Rashard, they got Penny back finally after him
Another
missing
injury,
2 years.
another injury running back.
Yeah, like I feel like if they can get them healthy and get balance in that offense to where Russell don't have to throw the pill 40 times a game, then we'll start seeing the old Seattle's. And then that defense, their back end really with Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams ain't really the problem. It's really their ability to get pressure. They don't
I think they're just
pressure.
a couple years out because they draft pretty good. I
They
think
do, and they develop. They not only draft, but they develop well.
I think they have a couple more years, and then they'll be right back in the picture. I think they're just in too tough a division with just not enough
also
athletes.
is a big thing. That division ain't getting no easier no time soon.
Because if the 49ers would stay healthy, all four of those teams were top contenders.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, their problem is just staying healthy. The 49ers are plagued with injuries.
Every year.
It seems like every year.
It's the third year in a row.
Super Bowl, after the Super Bowl, it seems like they have just been tortured.
All right, the Colts. I think they're middle of the pack when healthy.
I think they'd be like 2 spaces, but because okay, you know what? Nah, they might be behind the Seahawks because their defense, based off of last year, they have it. I mean, if you just on the optimistic side, their defense was one of the best defenses last year, and you're just like, all right, they got to get back to that point at least. And once they get back there, Carson Wentz hasn't played bad football all year.
With the exception of this past game. With the exception of this past game, he hasn't played bad.
But they still won. He didn't play bad enough for them to lose.
And he's also he's spraying double. We can hear you. He had double sprained ankles.
Yeah, I mean,
just a few weeks later, he's now running the ball, and he needs to watch the hits that he takes.
Yeah, but he's always been. I've never knocked Carson Wentz's toughness. He's always been a tough guy. When Philly, when he was leading us on.
I think being a tough guy hurts him though.
Yeah, it does because he puts himself, because he's the type that will lay his body out on the line to get that extra yardage, so he can win the game. But it does cost him.
He's young, Big Ben.
Yeah, I can see it, but yeah, I was gonna say more injury prone.
He has a better arm than Big Ben.
Oh, you very underrate Big Ben.
Yeah, Big Ben. When he was young, Big Ben used to sling it. I feel like after the Bettis years, once they weren't just handing the ball off, once he got to actually throw it, when Antonio Brown was around, the prime Antonio Brown. Oh yeah, Big Ben I feel like his arm was definitely one of the top in the league.
I'm just pointing out that 2 years ago, people were saying Carson Wentz and Mahomes were the 2 best throwers to ever play in the league.
When Carson Wentz is healthy, Carson Wentz is a top 5 arm. And that Colts O-line, that elite Colts O-line has been banged up this year, and
it hasn't
been protecting as much.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God, the talent level on the Colts offense. I think the Colts have a top 10 receiving core and that Colts
receiving core. Name me another receiver other than
T.Y. Hilton.
He's Michael Pittman, but Michael Pittman. Other than Michael Pittman.
Move on to the next one.
And then, you got what's his name? Number 10.
XFL.
I can't think of his name, but they're good. They're fast and they're athletic. Okay. I don't watch a lot of Colts games.
The Steelers.
But the running back core.
Yeah, that's why I said the best running, or probably my pick for best running back duo. Steelers are put in bad.
Yeah, I would agree with bad.
I mean, they won the last game, didn't they?
I think they might be into the middle of the pack too.
Their defense is pretty good, but Big Ben is just it's like watching Joe Biden play football.
I think Big Ben also struggles from lack of offensive weapons too.
But I don't think that is the case. I think he's the problem because he has the.
Oh, he's not.
I'm
not saying he's a top 10 quarterback or anything, But at this age, you need weapons that can make your quarterback if
You
you're going to
got
keep Big
Chase.
Ben around.
What's the
Chase Claypool,
Chase Claypool. What's
Deontay
number 18's
Johnson.
name? Johnson has been his favorite target. And dude, I've seen him miss like even the past 2 weeks, bro. He's missed Johnson like on two touchdowns. I've seen him miss him. Like
the offensive talent Big Ben has around him is the only reason I would maybe see you putting him in the middle of the pack. Big Ben himself, I think, is what's bringing them down to bad.
Their problem is they can't run the ball, and Najee Harris can run the ball, but they just can't block for him consistently enough for him to actually like find
Their
open
their
lanes consistently.
off season game plan with their O line was just horrible, man.
This is where it gets complicated. I don't know where to put the Falcons.
The Falcons are tricky because they're sitting at 3-3 now.
I could see them being middle of the pack. I could see them being bad, and some games I could see them being XFL. I just don't know where they are.
Or are we going off potential or execution? Because this is their first year in this system.
Sometimes their potential looks just as bad as their execution. Sometimes their potential looks great, and their execution looks great.
They're getting some people back from injuries. Just their running game, I think, is their thing keeping them in bad.
The Falcons have been an enigma.
You want to put them before or after the Steelers?
I would put them after the Steelers. I don't think they're as good as the Steelers overall.
Yeah, their defense is still giving away too many points. Like we give up almost 30 points to the Jaguars. Yeah, you still win that game, but I mean, come on.
And then the 49ers, another tricky one, man. When healthy, you're putting them up here. How they're doing, I think they're the back end of middle of the pack.
Yeah, they don't have a quarterback.
What happened to Trey Lance? Did he get benched?
He's hurt. His leg or something with his leg.
He got injured. Jets XFL. Nothing new there.
Their only potential in their entire team is hurt now.
Poor
There should be like a subcategory that's called New York teams.
Yeah, I know.
It's called the XFL.
The Giants have been fighting though, bro. They've been losing. The game that they even lost were just close nail biters. Like
they were the Lions, bro.
They show the Giants have won their past 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. So they're trending.
I hope they don't fire
Danny Dimes is very underrated, bro.
I think he's starting to trend in the positive direction. I think this year he's starting to trend upward.
He's been a very good quarterback, I think. Just very bad errors.
Yeah, the turnovers.
He's cutting the turnovers down, which is his ability to lead the game and win the game is starting to show now.
Yeah.
Granted, he's still turning the ball over a few times, so
they're playing the Bills. Bills are Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah. I think that's the beginning of 2 no doubters.
I think that's Super Bowl or bust. It's Super Bowl or bust for them. With the Chiefs out the way this year, it's Super Bowl or bust for the Bills.
So
the Chargers will get in the way, I think.
I don't know. I just know the Eagles have been doing great this year, so I don't think they're bad.
My boys are. Hold on, let me see the tier list again. Hold up. My boys are doing bad. Not XXL bad, but my boys are bad.
I'll put them ahead of the Falcons.
We're worse than the Falcons right now, bro. We're worse than the Falcons. The Falcons are sitting at 3-3 at least, and they're trending upwards. They've won their last 3 games. We're trending backwards. Like,
are you an Eagles fan?
Oh yes, I'm an Eagles fan, and I make sure I see at least the highlights of every game. And Jalen Hurts,
he's not it.
He's not putting us in positions to lose the game, but he's not really putting us in too many positions to win the game. And that's
what happened in Alabama.
And at this point, we have pieces on our offense that are explosive. We got guys that can get down the field. We got guys if you just get them the ball in space, they can make something happen. And yeah, we can't keep calling screens every
run the ball,
every 10 pass plays. And we need to get Miles Sanders back.
Miles Sanders is one of my favorite players in the NFL.
All right.
I mean, we're neglecting them.
Saints
playoff team.
I was gonna put them at top of the middle of the pack.
They're
okay. You got to think.
Can we do another one? Can we do potential wild card. Like that should be like an added because like I don't know the
You gotta-
Saints, man. Their
you get
defense is good, but Jameis like them having to win 10-13 against the freaking Seahawks who are without Russell Wilson. Like, man, I just feel like that's not a good look.
Patriots. Okay, then I put Patriots at right behind the Seahawks at middle of the pack. I think Mac is actually pretty good, like scary good.
So,
Like,
I mean, with the Saints,
I would put Patriots.
The Saints are a top 7 team in the NFC. That's my defense. You got.
I mean, they're still at 4-2. Yeah, granted, like I said, their defense is good. Their running game, as long as you got Kamara, but I just feel like I said, they're a playoff team. They'll make the playoff, but I feel like
go deep.
I feel like they'll get to the wild. They may get a wild card, and then they because they're definitely not taking that division. They'll get to the wild card and they lose.
Well, yeah.
Because you're asking Jameis to go on the road late in December.
They're either have to play the Bucks, Green Bay, the Cowboys, or whoever wins the NFC West. It doesn't matter who.
Yeah, in that playoff football, they're gonna be like, all right, well, we're not gonna let Kamara beat us. So, all right, Jameis, it's game. It's your turn.
It's crazy how. Oh man, I can't wait for playoffs, man.
Patriots. I'd put them at top and middle of the pack. No, yeah,
the top of middle of the pack,
behind the Colts.
The Seahawks with it.
I put them at the top of bad.
I think the Patriots could beat the.
They're 2-5.
They're getting better though. It seems like. I think Mac is getting
by beating the Jets again.
Their potential is high. Their bottom is low. It's just
if they get
right in the middle.
They don't have they're suffered the same thing that why Tom Brady left. They don't have any playmakers. Yeah, they simply don't have playmakers.
If they get any talent on their team, like to support Matt, then they're like automatically a threat.
They have defensive playmakers, but they don't have no offensive playmakers.
Chargers, I put at Super Bowl contender.
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender just yet.
I think it's between them and the
They can make a deep run. No, they can make it to the AFC Championship.
I think due to them playing, contender is a top 2 team in each conference.
Yeah,
I don't think they're contender.
Top 2.
I can't name another AFC besides the Bills. I can't name another AFC team that's better than them.
I'm still going for the Ravens. Yeah, they got beat bad by the Bengals, but I'm still
depending on how pissed off Derrick Henry is. How committed he is to getting there.
That's also true. The Titans are a team that should not be messed. They've already taken out the Bills,
and they're heating up.
And they embarrassed the Chiefs. They didn't beat the Chiefs. They embarrassed them.
Bengals back into playoff.
Yeah.
Oh, they're a playoff team. The Bengals will make the playoff.
Best team in their division.
It'll be like the Browns were last year. Like how
they won't win that division. Like I said, that division is still up. That division still belongs to the Ravens because I think Lamar is not going to like. I don't think he had. I think he had a bad taste in his mouth after that loss, and I think he about to turn up. That's just my personal opinion.
No, he's going to run the ball more.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to be like the Browns were last year. They're going to go to the playoffs, which is great for them since they've been so bad. But they're still going to just make it a little bit far and die off. The Chicago Bears.
I'm putting them in XFL.
Yeah, they deserve it.
Yeah, the way that the fashion that they've been losing in is just
it's the coach's fault. It's not the players. It's the coach.
Matt Nagy, yeah, he's just he's not it. He's got to go.
Cowboys top of playoff. Definitely top of playoff. I put top.
They'll make a deep run. I don't want to put. That's what I'm saying. That should be like another tier because like they won't. They're not a Super Bowl contender, but they'll make a deep. They'll win the wild card. They can maybe win the division. They can get to the NFC Championship. I think they can get there.
I would say that I could actually see them making the Super Bowl, so they would be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, I can see them making the Super Bowl. I can see them losing in the first round.
If we're limiting it to 2 for Super Bowl contenders, though, I wouldn't put them at the top 2. Like I'd put them at 3 probably for the NFC.
It has to be 3 after the Tampa Bay and the Rams. Rams have to be. Rams to me are the favorite in the NFC still, even with the Tampa Bay playing. I mean, they beat Tampa Bay handily.
And
So
also Arizona.
Lost Arizona.
I feel like Arizona is going to have those. I like what they're doing. I really do, but I think by the end of the season,
I think the Rams are overrated.
I think by the end of the season, it'll be the Rams and Tampa Bay we're talking about,
think
or
the Rams
the
are-
Packers.
I think the Rams are good. I don't think they're making the Super Bowl.
Just, I can't get over it. Every time you try to talk about who could win the NFC, you say 2 teams and you add a third, and then you add a fourth, and then you add a fifth. You're like, God damn, man.
Imagine though, like, what are the chances that, like,
I think the NFC wins the Super Bowl. I think
Well,
the
that-
NFC Championship is the Super Bowl this year.
but like, what are the chances that like two NFC teams host the Super Bowl in their home city in back-to-back years? That would be the
That'd be
Rams.
crazy.
Hey, but
the
if the Chargers go, it's their home field too.
Yeah, but so no, do they play at the same field? I thought the
Yes, they
Chargers
both
have
play
their
at
own
SoFi.
Yeah,
field.
they play at SoFi.
Oh. I just don't see it happening. That's like such a small probability.
We didn't talk about the Dolphins, but I put them in XFL.
Yeah, no, I saw you did that.
Poor Tua. They'll be back once Deshaun get there.
I like
honestly
Brian
think-
Flores as a coach. They got to build some more.
For Raiders, I think they're a playoff team like the Saints. They're not going to make it deep, but they'll probably make it in.
Yeah, they'll playoff team for sure. They're showing a lot of heart character. Derek Carr is showing his ass this year.
Browns, I'd put top and middle of the pack since now Baker's out, so they don't really have a QB for the next few weeks.
Poor Baker, dude.
They have legitimate good playoff run chance as well this year. Giants, XFL. Can we put them
I'm putting the Giants in bad.
No.
I'm putting them above the Eagles.
No, they need their own category because they're a New York team. They don't deserve to be in the NFL. New York should just sell all of their teams.
There's one more team that I'm going to put in bad. I'm sure there's a couple more I'm putting bad. There's one more I'm going to put in bad that I feel like I'm going to have to persuade y'all on. But Denver, I think they're into the middle of the pack.
Yeah.
Middle of the pack. Teddy Bridgewater
the talent's there.
trending down right now, though. He's trending down. He has to trend back up for them to move up higher.
The talent on the teams there. I don't know if Vic Fangio or whatever his name is the guy, but we'll see.
Honestly,
We already know the Bucks are,
Yeah, XFL. No, honestly, the Bucks. I would put the Bucks ahead. We can only have 2 per division, but I would have put the Bucks.
The NFC is so deep. The NFC is so deep that I'm honest. There's one more team I'm putting in Super Bowl contender for the NFC. I'm gonna put. I'm going to ahead and just do this. We're gonna put the 4 NFC teams. In the top 4.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you can't forget about because Aaron Rodgers. You can't forget about Green Bay. They're all legitimate. Those are all legitimate Super Bowl contenders.
I would not put money on either one of those 4 teams just because I can't trust they beat the other 3.
I think it's gonna be Cardinals versus Bills.
It's hard, man. Any one of those two can beat up on each. They can beat each other.
Yeah, my prediction right now is still the Rams versus Bills.
Yeah, I think the Rams. I just feel like their defense is probably the most dangerous. When they're playing right. I don't know. The Cardinals. I don't know that.
Actually,
if
I
they
take
keep
that
playing
back.
like that, that might be true. But
I take it all back. I don't know why I'm gone playing Tom Brady. Tampa Tom. I got Tampa Tom against the Bucks. I am against the Bills. Actually, no. I think it'll be Bucks versus Chargers.
I love Justin. I'd love to see Justin Herbert in the Super Bowl, man. But I don't think they make it out this year. Not this year. This ain't the year. They need a few more defensive pieces because they're giving up too many points. They're giving up way too many yards.
Y'all don't agree with me on this, but I see Bucks versus Titans.
I thought you just said the Bucks versus the Bills.
I don't think the Titans are unbelievable.
Now, Derrick Henry is going to go into King Henry mode in the playoffs and just carry them through.
There's a trend. These very good one-dimensional teams, Ravens included, You get to the playoffs and you can't be one-dimensional.
The thing is, the Titans aren't fully one-dimensional. They run a
They're
lot
pretty
less.
No, I mean,
one-dimensional.
But they've been passing a lot as well. Like Brian Tannehill
but the
isn't
thing is,
like that bad.
I agree. Tannehill can throw. Like Tannehill's proven especially in the clutch, he's made clutch throws over the past 2-3 years he's been in Tennessee.
And if he can't, Derrick Henry can.
Right. I mean,
like fuck it.
they
Just
got AJ
put him
Brown
at
and Julio
quarterback.
Jones. Like they're going to get those guys involved as the year gets on. Like it ain't gonna be just Henry.
All right,
Fuck
are
it,
y'all
Derrick
gonna
Henry at
debate?
quarterback.
Are y'all gonna debate my Lions in bad?
No.
Do y'all want them in the
No.
XFL? I think they play good enough to be in bad. I just think they've had some bad luck.
I hope
Yeah,
the coach
that's true. They
I hope
lost some bad. They lost some unfortunate ways.
I just hope the coach doesn't get fired after this season. It's really not his fault. Like
It
he's
really
like,
ain't.
he's trying
Dan
so
Campbell,
hard.
bro.
You're like,
No, because you look at how these Lions players are responding to Dan Campbell. Everybody loves Dan Campbell.
They love him.
If they
Yeah.
let Matt Patricia go for that long, Dan Campbell will get more than 1 year.
Really,
Yeah,
because Matt Patricia was notorious for how like his staff didn't like.
Yeah.
Literally,
He was a dick. He was a dick.
He was an
no,
asshole.
but you're
He thought he was
expecting
going to come in and
Detroit-
treat these NFL grown men like they're little middle schoolers. And
He was trying to build Belichick. He was trying to be too much like his daddy.
But you're also saying that the Lions aren't going to screw something up. And I say to that, the Lions screw everything up. They're going to be like, oh, he didn't do well this one season. We need to fire him now.
I just don't think Goff is the answer. Poor Goff.
Goff is the worst fucking quarterback.
I think Jared Goff is the next Ryan Fitzpatrick. I really do.
I feel like Ryan Fitzpatrick got more pizzazz and flair than Goff.
I'm talking about. I think Goff's about to be that next journeyman. The next guy who's going to come in and start a few games here and there and compete for the starting spot. Just never good enough to keep it.
Yeah.
Wait, one sec. You put the Jags at the bottom of XFL. I'm debating who's worse, the Jets or the Jags.
Oh, let's do this.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
I don't know.
wait. We got to do this. They beat the Dolphins.
Well, I don't know. Like I'm kind of like, who's
They
the
beat the
worst
Dolphins.
of the three? Who is the worst team in the NFL right now?
The Jets.
I'm debating because I'm like, the Jags have a pretty good they've won like one game. And it's not Trevor Lawrence's fault, but
Yeah, but you know who the Jags beat?
Well, some of it is Trevor's fault. I mean, yeah, he's a rookie, but he's been throwing. He started off his career.
But you can be
interceptions.
strides. You can see very large strides in Trevor's game in the NFL.
Yeah,
he is
yeah,
getting better by the game.
He is. I will agree with that.
Okay, the Washington No Names. Bottom middle of the pack.
They're bad. They're upper bad. I think their defense just is not playing like they were supposed to this year. They were coming into this year thinking they were going to be a playoff contender at least with that defense and having a weapon like Terry McLaurin, a decent run game with
Their offense is legit. Their offense is legit.
Their offense ain't bad.
I think it's Heineke's spot to lose going in the next season.
I feel like they need one more weapon to go along with Lauren, like on the other side.
Honestly, I'm starting to
Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams is gonna be on the Washington football team next year.
You got me hella messed.
No,
up.
because him and Aaron Rodgers have already been signing that this is their last year in Green Bay.
But he's not gonna go to Washington, bro.
Why not? They just 1 or 2 pieces away from being a contender.
I'm starting to think Heineke is like a top 10 QB because he has like no talent, or not no talent. He has no talent on his team, like other than like Terry McLaurin, and he's still like throwing.
Gibson and McLaurin are for real, bro.
No, I'm not saying
you're talking about probably one of the best rookie duos in recent memory.
I'm not saying not.
Gibson and McLaurin in the same year.
He has no like crazy like standout like offensive receiving threats.
Terry McLaurin.
Other than Terry McLaurin.
That's what he's saying. Other than Terry.
I thought you were saying no threats. I'm like, what? I think Terry McLaurin's a top 5 receiver.
Top 10, not top 5. Stop the cap.
You put McLaurin
Bro,
on.
I can name 5 receivers right now better than Terry McLaurin. That like literally like
put him in a better position and see what happens.
Okay, and I can name that about even the 5 receivers I could possibly name that are still doing well for their respective teams.
I think you got D-Hop in that conversation, Devontae Adams. Honestly, I think A.J. Brown's a top 5 receiver.
So Jamar Chase is right now.
Cooper Kupp.
Jamar Chase, maybe.
It's his rookie year. He's one of the top 5 young guys under 25. We could say that, but
I think Justin Jefferson's a top 10.
If we're talking about like plays so far this season, just based on what we've seen from him,
nobody talks about Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen is the top 5 receiver, bro. Like, if anybody's going to sit here and debate me,
probably second best route runner.
Like, bro, Keenan Allen is a beast, and look at what Justin Herbert is doing.
Keenan Allen, you watch what he does, and it's just like you're supposed to be that 50-50 jump ball. He's built like that. He's not supposed to run routes like that, man.
Right. He is shaking dudes out their drawers. Like,
you look at him and you're like, you built like Randy Moss, but
the thing he's not that big. He's only 6'2". Mike Evans is like 2 3 inches taller.
He's built like a typical jump ball receiver in the NFL. 6'2" is a pretty tall dude.
It is, and then
you got him over here running
receiver out of Cal. Actually, that's the crazy thing is he transitioned.
And then you see him cutting on a dime like Chad Ochocinco, bro.
Where do you want the Vikings? I have no clue. I have not seen a seat.
They're in the middle of the pack for sure.
I'm not seeing somewhere. Vikings.
I'd say in between the Seahawks and the Colts.
I have no idea. I haven't seen any highlights or anything.
Because Dalvin Cook is a top 5 running back.
Yeah, like their offense, bro, can really score with anybody. Literally, they're 3 and 4 right now, but they could easily be 4 and 3 at least because they missed that damn field goal against the Cardinals. They should have won that game. Like, that's the game they should have won. They could have a winning record right now, and the season could be looking a little bit different. They've also had some injuries, but I think they're not a bad team. I don't think their defense has been as good as they were like 3 years ago, and that's a huge reason why they're not that team anymore. Like, they're not a 12-4 type of team like they were 2 years ago.
Their defense is a bunch of very good talent that are just on the older end of things.
Well, their secondary got a lot weaker. Xavier Rhodes left. I haven't really heard. Harrison Barnes is still there, but you don't hear nothing about him anymore.
Patrick Peterson's there, but he's on the older end.
Yeah, they signed Patrick Peterson, but damn, you signed him at 33 years old.
And you look at their linebackers, and Eric Kendrick's a very good linebacker, but he's on the older end of things.
Dude, he's their best defensive player right now.
And then you look at Daniel Hunter, he's on the older end of things.
That's what I'm saying. 2 years ago, you had Everson Griffin and Daniel Hunter.
I think they're just a couple young pieces out from being a very good defense again.
Yeah, they need to.
They need a couple young DBs and Patrick Peterson in the slot. I like that.
Him being their best cover guy right now is their problem. Like, he's honestly,
I can see Patrick Peterson switching to like a nickel safety here in the future.
He needs to move to be a safety. He
don't got the speed, but he was like Jalen Ramsey. He was a very physical corner back when he was playing. Well, he's still playing, but
where do we put the Chiefs? Like,
they're still a playoff team. Until they lose 7 games, they're a playoff team.
They're not even They're not even a top 2 team in their division, bro.
Bro, until they lose enough games to knock them out of the playoffs, I am not counting this team out of the playoffs. I'm sorry. I'm not a stupid idiot.
I got them into the pack.
They're 3 and 4. Let's say they run the table. They go 13 and 4. You go 13 and 4.
Yeah, but what if they don't win another game?
I'll put them behind the Seahawks in the middle of the pack.
Hey, then this ain't gonna be your last podcast. We're gonna be doing this for the next few weeks.
I'm already eating my words on the Cardinals now.
This is just right now. So this is just where I got them right now.
This podcast is just gonna be full of me saying something and then choking my words back down. It's happened with the Cardinals.
They're 3 and 4 right now. I don't think they're out of the playoffs.
What else happened to you with the Ravens, Michael?
I have yet to be wrong about the Ravens.
Except for when you called Lamar
I-
Jackson when he threw for 440
I-
yards the very next week.
I still think they're a Super Bowl contender. That's just me. I still think they're a Super Bowl contender. Their
They're
defense
definitely-
is not. They're not going to give up freaking 200 yards to a receiver like
The
that every
closest the
game.
Ravens are going to get to the Super Bowl is when Lamar Jackson gets some tickets. And he can be sitting there in the front row.
Hey, why
I
you
would-
hating on Lamar so hard?
I would
Why
put
don't
the
you want to
Ravens
see him
behind-
shine?
I would put the Ravens behind the Cowboys in playoff team.
Behind the
I'm doing this out of being outvoted. I would put them middle of the pack if I had. If I
What?
vote.
They're all 4-2. What are you talking about? Middle of the pack?
The Ravens, I would put.
I think a
there
healthy
because-
Cleveland would beat Baltimore.
The reason I put them there, DJ, is because they're kind of like the Cowboys, in which case I could see them going to the Super Bowl. But it's not very likely, in my opinion.
Right.
Does that make
If
sense?
the other teams come with their game, then they should beat them.
Yeah. So it's kind of how I see the Cowboys as well. So I'd put them equal to each other.
Even though the Ravens did beat the Chargers pretty bad. Pretty bad.
the Ravens
Pretty bad.
the Ravens are the Cowboys of the AFC. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I love the Chargers.
Poor Carolina. If this was a couple of weeks ago, I'd be putting them in a lot different spot.
Yeah,
And now Sam Darnold's and Sam Darnold might not even be the starting quarterback anymore.
Yeah, Sam Darnold playing like the New York Jets. Sam Darnold.
Hey.
He's just forcing the ball in the spots that don't need to be there. I'm like, bro, why do you really not see those guys? You're going right to them.
For as much as I want
Bad.
Sam Darnold to succeed, I really want PJ Walker to succeed also. Watching PJ Walker.
Isn't PJ Walker from Temple?
Yeah, and he was on the Houston XFL team.
Okay, yeah,
Man,
I've never heard that name.
I watched this PJ Tucker like run around and honestly look like Russell Wilson. Granted, it was the XFL, but the dude's talented as hell, man.
I would put the Panthers behind the Patriots in bad.
I agree with that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
was,
Maybe they might be able to beat the Patriots. I don't know. Titans are weird for me.
I think the Titans go right in front of the Ravens.
Titans
they go in front of the Ravens. I'd say that because I think if they matched up, I feel like the Titans beat the Ravens.
Because knock on wood, something happened to Derrick Henry. The Titans aren't where they are right now.
Ain't nothing happening to Derrick Henry. Fucking got himself.
Who spells Henry? Who's their backup running back?
Exactly.
Because like
they don't need one. It's probably Ryan Tannehill.
But I just feel like it's going to be important as you get down to the nitty gritty when it gets cold, when you need to run the ball. But like you can't just like you're already giving Henry 30 carries a game early in the season.
The only reason Derrick Henry is not playing running back
it's Jeremy Nichols. Big Nichols.
Oh yeah. See, early in his career, he had Lewis, Dion Lewis, and that's why like earlier in his career he split carries with Dion Lewis a lot. Like he didn't get his first 1,000-yard season until this. I know he went for like 700 his first year and like 900 his second year, and he didn't get his first 1,000-yard season until his third year.
They got Darrington Evans, who's injured right now.
Save the worst for last. Let's see.
The Texans.
The defense.
If Tyrod Taylor was still playing, bro, I'm telling you, they'd have a better record.
I have them right above the Eagles. Right above the Lions.
It's not even the Texans' offense that's the issue. It's the defense. They're allowing 50 points. You know, like just saying, like, even if like Tyrod Taylor was here, then you'd have to be putting up 50 points to match what this defense is giving up. I say 50 points. I think their average points is like 30 or something. The defense is just not it.
Yeah, that whole organization is just in such turmoil.
Yeah, we need to bring back Bill O'Brien.
Yeah, let him run the whole team, right?
Just make him owner. Like, why not? I swear, Bill O'Brien might be the worst coach of all time. Like maybe not like decision making wise. Oh no, maybe not like personal decision making wise, but if we're talking about like what he did to screw over the team in the long run, Bill O'Brien might be the worst coach of all time.
I don't know. Urban Meyer's off to a pretty rough start.
I mean,
Yeah, I
Urban
know.
Meyer,
Right?
Urban
He's
Meyer's
off to
done
a
a lot
bad
like
start.
socially. That's what I'm saying. He's done a lot socially bad, but at least he like if they were to fire Urban Meyer now, next year they wouldn't have too many bad consequences.
Urban Meyer's found the end zone off the field more than he's on the field, if you know what I mean.
Bill O'Brien, however, somehow figured out a way to screw over the Houston Texans, not only for like a year after he was gone, but for like 5 years. Like the Texans have like zero hope for like a good 5 years.
Did y'all see where apparently the Texans and the Dolphins have come to agreement for a Deshaun Watson trade?
Oh, really?
But it all comes down to the Deshaun Watson getting his court cases settled. And honestly, the Deshaun Watson stuff would go away if he would just pay everybody, which is what all the girls want.
That's
But
all they wanted to begin with.
Yeah, but he's saying he's not going to pay the money because that would admit guilt. So
makes sense. That's how they got. That's how they got.
Which really makes me feel like he's innocent.
Yeah,
I thought he was innocent before.
I'm telling you, the Texans was just trying to get their money back.
That's how they got Bill Cosby, and how Bill Cosby was recently released. They said, "Hey, if you just admit to it and give these ladies money, then we're not going to arrest you." And so Bill Cosby was like, "Okay," and gave all of them a shit ton of money, and then they still arrested him, and then they had to release him because the new DA looked at it and was like, "That's not legal."
Yep, they bribed. That's like some type of bribery, ain't it?
All right, you don't want to go. You don't want to go game by game predict.
We need to make it quick. I'm hungry and.
Cardinals, Packers. You got no Devontae Adams and no Lazard.
Yeah,
and Arizona.
I was gonna go Arizona to begin with because, like I said, I feel like every time Rodgers goes down to Arizona, it hasn't been that great for him.
I got Arizona.
This team looks dead. This team is just deadly, and I don't know. The sky's the limit for this team.
I'll go Packers.
So, you're gonna go Packers? Arizona's your team, dude.
Yeah, I'll go Packers. I don't think they're going undefeated.
Yeah, but I don't think they're going to lose this game.
A healthy Packers, I can see that being the trap game, but
their first game they lose is going to be a division game. The Cardinals will lose the division game first.
It's also a Thursday night game, though. I'll start there.
Yeah,
Falcons.
Panthers, Falcons.
I'm going Falcons.
I'm taking the Falcons. I'm actually starting to believe what they got building going on right there. Bro, for one, we not talking about Cordell Patterson. Like, this man has always, like, when he was drafted at Tennessee, like, everybody knew, like, he was a talented guy. But, like, he just never put it together, and, like, nobody really never knew how to use him. Or, like, he was just kind of kick returner. He kind of just bounced around. But Atlanta has found a way to get this. This man going to be in the Pro Bowl this year. He is playing at the top of his game. Their offense, Kyle Pitts went off for 164 last week. He's going to build on that.
All right, Titans, Colts. I'm going to Colts.
Titans, Colts. I'm going Titans.
It's in Indy.
I'm taking Titans. I feel like they're just going to continue. I feel like they're building on something special this season. They'll hit their brick road later on in the season. But right now, they're riding the hot hand in King Henry.
Dolphins, Bills. I got the Dolphins. Martian death being on Earth. I got the Dolphins.
I'm taking the Bills. It's not
Bills, yeah. I'm not even about to even play around with that. The Dolphins don't stand a chance.
Bengals, Jets. Bengals.
Yeah, the Jets. In my dreams. No, the Bengals all the way.
You don't even have – oh, no. Looks like Joe Flacco is the quarterback of the Jets this week.
Yeah, no, the Eagles just traded him back there. Like, he wanted to go back there. You know, he didn't want to go back.
Hey, I think the Eagles have the deepest quarterback room until this week. Jalen Hurts, Joe Flacco, and Gardner Minshew.
Joe Flacco
mean-
becomes the next Fitzpatrick.
Man, I honestly thought Joe Flacco retired, but
Steelers, Browns.
Browns.
I got Steelers.
No, I'm gonna go Steelers. The Browns.
Okay, here's my prediction.
I don't think Case Keenum's gonna save them.
I think Casey Keenum has a Vikings-like year. I think Casey Keenum just goes on this weird BS little run. And honestly, I don't think Baker starts another game the rest of the season.
What's wrong with him? What's wrong with his shoulder?
Yeah,
I don't even think it's injury reason. I think Keenum's going to heat up, and I think they're going to ride the hot hand.
You think?
Baker's not been too hot this year. And I think Keenum is going to come in and play like he did with the Vikings.
But even when Keenum came in, like, I think the biggest thing with Baker is like his chemistry with Odell, and like, why isn't Odell getting in the game? And they should be doing a lot more with the offense because they should be more.
This Cleveland offense is very much like the Vikings.
I got the Browns not because of Case Keenum, but I realized that old man Roethlisberger will have fucking Myles Garrett and then Jadeveon Clowney chasing after his slow ass across the field, and I was like, oh, it's going to be manslaughter, especially with the Steelers' current line.
Like, think of this Browns offense compared to the Vikings offense. Yeah, Dalvin Cook. Now you got Chubb, Kareem Hunt, and now this.
Were we talking about best pass rushers, best pass rushing duos earlier? We forgot Jadeveon Clowney and Myles Garrett this year. That's fucking crazy. Like, have you watched their highlights? Like, Jadeveon Clowney will just speed rush the quarterback and throw him right into Myles Garrett's arms. That's why Myles Garrett's leading the league, I'm pretty sure, in sacks right now.
Yeah, Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt might be the better duo, but I think it's close.
That is a freaking crazy pass rush right there.
Eagles, Lions. Oh, you continue.
I was just saying that's why I have now the Browns, because I don't think Roethlisberger is going to have fun with those two blitzing in. And then
I don't think Keenum's going to have fun with Derek White in his face. Yeah. TJ in his face.
Well, okay.
I mean, so I think it's going to go.
You got the really good receiver duo, just like he had in Minnesota. You had the really good running back, like he did in Minnesota, and a really good defense, like he had in Minnesota. It's very repetitive. It seems like.
I think Browns Steelers is going to be a 6-3 game.
It's going to be low scoring for sure. It's going to be a defensive battle, I believe.
24-6 Browns.
24-6 Browns. That's what you're going with. You think the Browns are going to score 24 points on the Steelers defense?
Minimum.
I have 10-3. I have
Browns. Is Chubb or Hunt even coming back this week?
Is what?
Is Chubb or Hunt coming back this week? Because they were both out last week. That's why Dearness Johnson.
I don't even think it matters. Dearness Johnson's, I think, good enough. and I think Keenum is. You got Jarvis, Odell. I mean, it's just.
We'll see. I guess we'll see. You sound optimistic, but I don't know.
I don't know. It seems very similar. Eagles, Lions. I'm going Lions.
I don't give a shit.
You think the Lions get their first win of the season? They could.
If it's gonna be against anybody, it's gonna be against the Eagles.
I don't give two shits. I'm not going to watch it. I'm not going to look at the stats.
It's probably gonna be against us.
It's gonna be like, oh, that happened.
I would like for this to be Jalen Hurts' like real breakout game to really just like go off him and Devontae Smith and do something. But I don't know.
Another bold prediction.
Game we could lose.
Gardner Minshew comes in some point in this game.
Rams,
I think the Lions jump up to a pretty big lead. Hurts struggles early. Gardner Minshew comes in some point in this game. I'm not saying he wants a starting job from here on out. But
I think Hurts has been scrambling too much, man. Like I think he scrambles too much.
I think Gardner Minshew might be used as someone who comes in to kind of motivate Hurts to step up his game.
This is going to be a really controversial opinion, like super controversial. Like we might get demonetized. I have the Rams beating the Texans. I have the Rams beating the Texans.
Dude, what if the Texans, bro?
Bro, yeah. Davis Mills freaking throws for 450 and beats the Rams. No sacks by Aaron Donald.
Brandon Cooks toast Jalen Ramsey for 200 yards.
Yeah,
David Johnson. David Johnson runs for over 200.
Bro, the
45 to
crazy thing
3
about the Texans,
Texans.
they have 3 running backs.
3 starting caliber running backs.
3 start like at one point in their career were like top 10 at least.
Dude, Bill O'Brien heard that we needed a run game and then said fuck it and traded everybody just for like Washington running back. He was like,
Bro.
fuck it.
That trade pisses me off for a whole new reason. Lamar Miller was a good running back. He was a very solid running back.
Yeah, he was.
The owner came up to Bill O'Brien and said, we need to get our run game incorporated. He's like, you want to tell me how to do my job? Okay, fuck you. And like just traded the entire team just for some washed up running backs.
Bob McNair was watching Bill O'Brien coach a team and just kick the bucket. That's why Cal's in charge.
He had a heart attack because couldn't watch that shit anymore.
49ers at Bears.
I don't give a shit. I'm not going
This is going to be this game of the Eagles game is going to be a this and the Eagles game is going to be a rough game.
Watching Justin Fields just run around like a chicken with his head cut off, but like when I'm watching the highlights, I'm like, bro, this dude has to just take off immediately, bro. And sometimes he's doing it preemptively with no pressure. He's just bailing. I'm just like, damn, like it just looks like he's not ready. He just doesn't look ready.
I got 49ers.
I want. Do y'all know if Trey Lance is back this week or not?
No, he's not coming back. It's Jimmy, and he's like 70%.
Dude, I wish this would be Trey Lance in the game. I really do. I would like Trey Lance to go off and prove that he was the right pick.
I think once he gets back, they're gonna go ahead and hand the keys to him. I think they kind of have to.
So, what was your guess? I said 49ers.
I go 49ers. I think the Chicago Bears, the way that they've been playing, I just think they just spell destruction. Like, they're not helping out Justin Fields. His confidence is going to be shot after this year, if it's not already shot.
I'll go with the Bears. I mean, would it be the craziest when they pulled off? They beating the Raiders and the Bengals.
Yeah, they already. I mean, like Justin Fields do have one win, but he only threw for like one. He threw no touchdowns, one pick, and like 100-something yards.
I think Allen Robinson's due for a big game. I think everyone forgets Darnell Mooney. That needs the next slot god, bro.
How are they gonna have a big game if Justin Fields can't get it to him?
And Patriots Chargers, I got Chargers.
The Niners are gonna get after them. They still have a decent defense.
That's what
I'm gonna go the Patriots over the Chargers.
Wow. I mean, yeah, you know what?
I'm gonna pull for the Chargers. I'm gonna pull for the Chargers, but it's just that gut feeling. The Patriots have played every game close.
Yeah, this could be one of those games where they could end up slipping, especially after losing the way they losing last week.
The Chargers coming off a loss and the Patriots riding high over demolishing the Jets. I think just everything mixes together for a good game, honestly.
Yeah, the confidence. Yeah, they're playing confident, and yeah, I can see that.
Jaguars, Seahawks.
I'm going Jaguars.
Me too.
I think the Jaguars are better than the Seahawks with Geno Smith behind center.
I'm a Seahawks fan and I agree.
Nah, I'm gonna go on a whim, but like, I'm gonna say Geno Smith at least throws for 2 touches, 250 yards. I think with Penny being back the second week,
one of two things
they'll
is gonna
have
happen.
A decent running game. I think they're gonna get it back in order. The Jaguars ain't winning this game.
One of two things is gonna happen. The Jaguars are going to win a close game, or Geno Smith's going to look like an MVP caliber quarterback for one game, and it's just not going to be close.
No, yeah, I think Geno Smith's going to have one of those games.
Geno Smith is honestly a solid quarterback. Just be playing for the Jets.
He is, yeah.
Same thing happened with Mark Sanchez. I mean,
yeah.
Okay, so Buccaneers versus Saints. I got a close game, but Bucs win.
I'm going Saints.
Of course,
I got Jameis going 300 plus.
Oh.
2 touchdowns.
Oh.
3 touchdowns. 3 touchdowns. One or 2 going to Kamara. I think Kamara is going to be over 100 yards all purpose between rushing and passing. I think the Saints offense, it's alternating games. The offense goes off and then they kind of slump and play close games. I mean, it's just every
Yeah,
other, and it just falls on a big game for the Saints.
I think the score is going to be close, but I think it's going to be obvious that the Buccaneers won. Like, one of those games where the Buccaneers will just like have like quadruple the amount of yards and like red zone and stuff like that, but it'll be still like a close score, and the Bucks will win.
I'm going Bucks, and I don't think it's going to be that close as y'all think it is. I mean, the Saints defense good,
I don't
granted,
have
yes,
I don't
but
even
I
have
don't
it
think
being
that
close.
offense keeps pace with Tampa Bay's.
I don't think it's gonna be close.
Lamar, Lattimore is ineffective. Who's on the other side of Lattimore? Tell me, who's the other corner?
I think it's Eli Apple.
He's not good enough to hold whoever is on the other side, because he's
Chris
going
Godwin,
to be
Antonio
shut on Mike
Brown.
Evans like he always does. He always around Mike. Him and Mike Evans always go at it.
So it's
They
either
have
like
nobody to stop Antonio Brown or Godwin.
Godwin or the
They
tight
have-
ends.
Or
They got a
even
really
without
good. They got really good.
Gronkowski,
They got good safety.
OJ
too.
Howard and Bray are starting tight ends, bro. They're starting tight ends.
And then you have Fournette as well, who can run.
Like, I don't see the same stuff. Like, their defense is good. Their front seven, they're playing dirty. They definitely stopped the run this year, but I don't think that back end is going to be able to stop Tom Brady.
Alright,
from picking them
Especially with
apart.
how Brady's
Then-
been playing this year.
Go
Brady's
ahead and throw
playing
y'all
this year
scores
better.
Throw y'all scores predictions.
I say Tampa Bay beats them 24-10.
I was actually want to say
Jameis is going to throw 2 picks. Even with their banged up secondary, Jameis is still that pressure is going to get to him. Like, dude, Jameis Winston is the worst quarterback this year thrown under pressure. And that's
28
always
to
been a
13
thing with
Saints.
them.
28-13.
28-13? Oh, no, I'm going 24-10 the Bucks. There's no way I'm picking the Saints in this game.
I have 28-24.
28-24? Okay, you got a close one. All right.
Again, stats, Buccaneers are going to dominate in every stat category, but it's going to be close.
Washington, Denver. I got Washington.
I won't give a shit. I'm not watching the game. That's the
Yeah,
whole
'cause
category for me. I'm not watching these fucking games, so I don't care.
It sucks because Denver doesn't have really a bad team, and they should be able to beat Washington. But Washington ain't a bad team either, and they should lose.
I think with how Bridgewater's playing, I think this is one of those games that might help Washington's defense's mojo.
Yeah,
Not
if
Washington.
if Teddy plays like he's been playing the past 3 weeks, and they didn't watch them. But if I'm just gonna go pick based off of just a fresh start, probably I guess I'm gonna go Washington. I feel like they have the better edge defensively.
The better
And
quarterback.
And I feel like better quarterbacks. Like Heineke's not scared. He's not scared. He'll throw that pill downfield.
And, anytime he's called into question, he steps up to bat and he gets a hit.
The games that they're losing are close games. Like they're not like, and he's not the reason that they're losing them. He's not putting them in bad position.
He plays smart.
Yeah, he's not putting them in bad position.
Cowboys, Vikings.
Cowboys.
I don't see the Vikings.
Okay.
I mean, it's gonna be a shootout though. This game's gonna be a shootout.
I got the Cowboys winning by 10 points, but I have the Vikings rushing for. I have Dalvin Cook going for over 100 yards.
Is he going to be back this? Hasn't he been hurt?
I think he's been banged up and been playing.
Giants, Chiefs.
Giants.
Man.
The
Damn, you thinking the Chiefs is falling off that hard?
They haven't given me anything to believe in them, man.
I mean, the Giants are trending upward. They have won their last 2.
The Giants have yet to be blown out.
And the
Chiefs
the Giants can probably put up points against that defense for sure. Damn, I'm kind of having a tough time picking, to be honest, because I'm losing faith in the Chiefs.
I'm going to say the Chiefs.
I gotta go. Man, they gonna have to get it together. What better week than to do it against a low scrub NFC East team like the Giants?
And just looking ahead, I'm not going to the depth.
Team in the NFC East.
But this has to be the worst Thursday night match I've ever seen in my entire life. The Jets and the Colts.
It's like watching 2 retards fight in a parking lot.
I mean, the Colts ain't bad, but it's the fact that they're playing against the Jets.
This is if you put Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather in the octagon.
Wait, Michael, can you put like? Do you know how to edit well enough that you could put like the fight between the South Park fight between the two retards?
I can't edit that well.
Where they have Timmy fighting the.
Stop
guy
saying
with the-
retards. Stop.
Yeah, don't say that.
I'm gonna have to cut off this part, please. God, I hate you, Christian. All right.
Especially adept people or inept people. Inept.
Only a couple more things. First, I think this might be, as far as college and NFL goes, this might be the most entertaining football season we've had in a while.
Yeah, a lot of upsets.
I think there's been a lot of really good games, especially college.
I wish Oklahoma.
I think that's just hard to say. I feel like every season is so like
well, if
it has a life of
Oklahoma-
its own.
If
I don't-
Oklahoma
I
would've
think-
lost
I
this last-
I think the
Oklahoma
fans
would've
being
lost
back, it hits
Oklahoma
different this
would've-
year.
If Oklahoma would have lost this last week, though, it would have been in the last 3 weeks. Number one would have lost 3 weeks ago. Number two lost last week, and then number three almost lost this week, and then also number two almost lost this week as well. So
Yeah, if we talking college football, I still the best. Y'all probably don't remember, but the best season, like this is the record book. Like 2007 season, like there were so many teams that were like making like just surprise. And in 2010, like that was a crazy season.
Hey, both those years, LSU went to the championship.
But
Yeah,
freaking like in 2010, you had teams like Missouri and Kansas, bro, that were
Okay, the
battling
thing
for
about
the number one and the
2007
number two.
The thing about 2007 that really made it interesting was the number one team lost
Like
in
4
5
weeks in a
straight
row.
weeks.
Yeah,
5
like
straight
4
weeks
or
to
5
end the season too. To end the season.
Yeah. My boys was up there because we lost to Cal.
Another thing with
Freaking-
LSU got into the championship as the 3rd ranked team against number 2 ranked Ohio State. The number 1 team was like West Virginia. It was
they lost the last game of the season against Pittsburgh. I watched that game when they had Pat White and freaking what's his name? Dang it, Noel Devine.
they didn't put the number 1 team in the championship. So that was a really, but just think of, it feels like the fans are louder and more energetic. It seems like the
Cincinnati
atmospheres have been better.
Cincinnati almost lost to.
I think
this week.
there's a lot more smaller schools
good
that are
game.
in the picture nowadays.
Yeah, like you got these group of fives that are making noise and stuff.
I think
That's always been because Boise State's always been like a team that's always made noise, and there's always been teams that's like that get close.
I
it's
think
clear, though,
Cincinnati.
that
I think
Georgia-
Cincinnati can make the championship this year if the cards
Georgia-
fall all together right.
I think it's clear that Georgia this year is what Alabama was last year and what LSU was the year before that. Like just
think-
the harbinger of death for all teams that come against it.
I think it's Cincinnati versus Georgia in the championship.
Cincinnati
That's my
almost lost
prediction.
to Navy.
I think
Cincinnati-
Cincinnati beats Oklahoma in the first round of the playoffs.
Cincinnati is going to be bent over a table and absolutely like I can't say it because we're on YouTube, but oh my god, it is going to be ugly. Georgia is just going to go ham.
You can't base it. Cincinnati's been dominating most of the season. You can't blame
Cincinnati
it off one
almost
game.
lost to Navy, and Cincinnati plays shit all season. If Georgia this season had the same opponents as Cincinnati is Notre Dame. That's how I see Cincinnati. They're better than Notre Dame. Don't get me wrong, but they're like Notre Dame.
I mean,
And
they
LSU
beat Notre Dame.
And
LSU
LSU lost to Troy a few years ago. They won the championship 2 years later. I
2
mean,
years later.
you can't. It's one game.
I
Anything
mean,
can
just because
happen.
a team almost gets upset doesn't mean they're bad. I mean, yeah,
And they
I mean,
didn't
that's
get
good.
upset.
but
They
like
won.
each week is different. Like teams come ready
The way I see
to
it
play.
is Georgia is beating top 20 teams the same amount as Cincinnati is beating no name teams.
I didn't say Cincinnati's going to beat Georgia. I just think the cards are going to fall where Cincinnati and Oklahoma are playing, and I think Cincinnati just beats Oklahoma.
I'm not saying that you're wrong about Cincinnati being in the national championship. I'm just saying Georgia is absolutely going to destroy them.
I think
I'm not a
I
Georgia
don't think
fan.
Bama. I don't think Bama makes the playoffs. I think Georgia beats them in the SEC championship, and they're not going to put a 2-loss team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I can't tell you who's going to be I can't tell you who's going to be the number 4 team in the playoffs. I can't.
I thought it was going to be Penn until they lost in 9 overtimes.
Yeah.
It's going to be a Big Ten team, though. I think it's going to be a team from the Big
Ten. It's going to be Ohio State. No. Ooh, I think
we got some big games coming up.
I think it's going to be Michigan.
You still got Michigan State coming up this year. Don't sleep on Michigan State. If they win
but I think
if they win this game and they can and they beat Ohio
the winner
State,
of this game, the winner of this game wins the Big Ten. I think.
Well, they'll win that division. They'll win the leader. Was that the Legends
division?
No,
I think they'll beat Ohio State.
You think so? You think the winner of the game beats?
I think the winner of this game beats Ohio State. Ohio State's one of those teams that are really good this year. I just don't think. I think they're too young, and I don't think they're ready for the big games right now.
I personally, this is me. I feel like if Michigan wins, they lose to Ohio State because I just feel like Harbaugh just cannot get over that team. But if Michigan State wins, I think they can win.
Which is weird because I think Michigan. I think Michigan's the better team out of Michigan State.
I do too. I do agree, but I just feel like it's a mental thing, and I think Harbaugh just will not be able to get over the hump.
Okay, I'm sorry to interrupt, guys, but it's getting kind of late, and I think it's a good time to start wrapping up the podcast. So, is there anything?
The last thing I would say is World Series. Let's go Stros. Let's go Stros. Houston in 6. Atlanta ain't got shit. 1 game.
Yeah,
they're like, oh, we're gonna come and beat you in game 1, and guess what? We broke your fucking pitcher's leg. See what you do now.
How the fuck did that happen?
We hit the ball back and hit him in the leg.
Oh, what? Dang, that's wild.
Then he goes on the strikeout the next 3 batters and then can't play anymore. But he struck out 3 batters on a broken leg.
They'll blame the trash cans.
Damn, I know that hurt. He still stayed in and freaking pitch.
I saw a TikTok, and it was like the only way the Astros win the World Series, and then the trend where they bang on the door. It was like hard, and he's like boom, boom, and they bang the trash can. It was funny. I'll send it to you, Christian.
DJ, thanks for being on with us tonight.
Thank y'all for having me, man.
Hope you enjoyed the podcast. You're welcome anytime.
Back any week.
Oh, I definitely look forward to coming back.
And
I had a blast.
I'm gonna say this now. Who knows? Me and DJ might start. I haven't talked to DJ. Maybe start our own thing, basketball, because Christian doesn't follow basketball too much.
Hey, I'd say
you'll have to take the lead. You watch it more than me, but
just keep the same podcast, and y'all can do a separate thing and post it on the same channel. So
just post 2 times a week, one for different sports.
Yeah,
you're more than welcome on football. You know your shit.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
I need one of y'all start watching some UFC some more.
I watch UFC.
I haven't watched UFC in years. I haven't watched since probably like 2012, 2013.
In front of Christian, I want to thank you, DJ. You were the first one to put me on Izzy Adesanya.
Oh yeah, that was like the last.
That's where I got.
Actually,
that's where I got. That's where I first got into him.
That was the last fight I watched. It was against Anderson Silva. That was the last fight I watched. We went to Twin Peaks to go watch it.
It's
classic.
Yeah. That was a good one.
My favorite fighter now.
Y'all have a great night, and thank you guys for watching. See ya.
All right, y'all.